Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to Doomlink's Life Hunts. Here I am in... oh, hold on. Let's not have that go dark. Don't worry, I'm not creating a new character, I don't have time for that sort of business. Some people don't mind doing that. Some people actually don't mind making a new character in Monster Hunter and doing it all over again. Not this guy. Not this guy. Anyway, what I was going to say was, we are back in this game, even though I don't have a problem with playing this game, it's just I would much prefer to play 3 Ultimate. That is the priority at the moment. I feel like I've neglected 3 Ultimate, and therefore playing 3 Ultimate would be the ideal situation. But unfortunately, in the evenings, my time, there's just no one playing it. So, unless I wanted to go into one of 2 different Hunter Rank 999 rooms that had only one person in it, that being the Hunter Rank 999, I didn't really have any options available to me. I did go and check 3 Ultimate just so that I could be assured of the fact that I couldn't play it for this recording, and indeed I cannot. So, here we are in Generations Ultimate. I need to move my keyboard out of the way. It's my PC keyboard again. I think that's only the second time I've ever clarified that. You know, whenever I need to move my keyboard out of the way, that is my PC keyboard. I actually don't have a keyboard tray that protrudes from my desk that is retractable or anything like that. I just have the keyboard on my lap. And that is what I've done for 7 years almost. 6 years. The reality is that it's worked well enough. And yes, this is even with PC gaming. I do this. Which is, you know, maybe difficult for some people to imagine. You know, having the mouse on a table in front of you while you're controlling the keyboard on your lap probably doesn't sound very comfortable at all, but... and it probably isn't, but... I've gotten used to that now. If it is uncomfortable, I've gotten used to it, and it feels comfortable for me at this point, is what I'm trying to say. Just making sure that everything's fine with the live stream. Also, hello Beans, I should have said hello to you earlier. I do have beer today, and it has actually been like 5 or 6 days since I last recorded, probably 5 since I last recorded, which is one of my longer periods of absence, but yeah, a few things have happened in that time, not with me personally, but in the Monster Hunter community. Well, one main thing, and that is not the finalization, but the, let's say the first version, the first playable version of the Try fan servers is out. I haven't set it up. I found out about it basically as soon as it happened, as soon as it was available. I went and joined their Discord as well. But I didn't set it up for myself because there's a bit of a process to it. And it's not actually playable with other people yet. It's not multiplayer, it's single player only, but you can access the entirety of the city mode and, in other words, Locklack, and all of the quests and all that business, which is good. But the process that is required to be undertaken to actually get your ISO to where that's playable, not really worth it at this point. I think prudence would be the appropriate course of action for me. In other words, I'll just sit back and wait for it to be updated further, and it may very well be the case that as things are updated, there will be easier and perhaps even more effective ways of getting into the online servers in general. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Sonic took its toll on me, yeah. Definitely. I'm waiting for my opportunity to start another livestream playthrough with, whatever it's called, Twilight Princess in the European version. And I'm having to wait because I'm waiting to get a 2GB memory card and a memory card reader that will fit into the memory card slot of... or SD card reader that will fit into the memory card reader of the GameCube. And once I've done that, I'll be able to use Action Replay, which is this thing right here, Action Replay, and I'll be able to play my European PAL games on the GameCube in 60 Excuse me. 480p. There you go. It will be 60 Hz, of course, but yeah. 480p progressive scan, as opposed to interlaced and lower resolution in general. Hello, Vernon. Haven't seen an action replay in 12 years. Well, yeah, it goes back a number of years. That it does. Just making sure that my vocal audio isn't too loud. That last Sonic recording that I did, where my vocal audio was so loud that it was just... It wasn't clipping, because I do have a compressor that also works as a limiter in a way. Prevents it from going past a certain volume, but it doesn't sound great. It's a free plugin, so if what would otherwise be peaking is taking place, or if I would have been peaking, then yeah, it's not going to sound great. Anyway, point of the matter is that you can have a little bit of that, but you don't want too much of that. It starts to sound like absolute balls. Okay. Vernon's going to join me. He's going to see how his hand is. This guy again. I've seen him a few times. He is really desperate to, I don't know, communicate with people or something. He includes his QQ account. So if any of you want to hit this guy up on QQ, you're welcome to. I'm sure that QQ is a multifarious software or application or whatever. But it is primarily a chatting app as I understand it. So, you know, I guess he just wants to talk to people. That's what's going on. Zoak just commented gay on one of my videos. I don't think he's going to catch me live. It'd be funny if he did. But yeah, Zoak is one of my friends on Hunsterverse. I'm just going to respond with you. There you go. Very good. Okay. This has been a bit of a slow start to this recording. One of the slowest I've had in a while. But, you know what? I'm feeling pretty laid back at the moment, so you're going to have to live with that. I don't know what this turn-based thing is going on about. Like, it's not really... I guess it's technically turn-based as far as how the room quest selection will operate. But, you know, turn-based gaming is what comes to mind when that phrase is written or mentioned in any way. I'm just going to, before I get a room on the go, get beer on the go. It is Wein Stefano. The Hefeweiss beer, of course. There we go, there's my bottle opener. Hello, Wonderlord. I'm doing rather well. Glad you could catch me live again. Has been a number of days since the last time I went live, so there you go. Sure, it doesn't do wonders for one's viewership when a person chooses not to live stream for 5 days and does that every now and again. You know, probably one of the big no-nos of video content creation, but guess what? I actually have a life. Who would have thought? Alrighty. Again, do excuse the chroma key taking the colour out of everything and also all that business. Maybe if I pull it further away. See, I don't want to do it this close to my microphone. That's just terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Bad practice. Don't pour beer right next to an expensive professional broadcast microphone. Probably not a good plan. Would not recommend it personally. Oh, okay. Well, at least you checked in, Wonderlord, and I will see you when I see you next. Alright. On your handy, as opposed to mobile. Ah. That's what the Germans call it anyway. Alright, well, we'll see how Vernon goes with holding a controller. He doesn't seem to be entirely sure if he'll be able to play without being in pain or, you know, be able to play at all, so we will find out. This person wants to do Arena. Don't know if this person has named themselves after the Melty Blood character, but that would be quite unusual if that were the case. I mean, what are the chances of finding another Melty Blood fan? Although I wouldn't really call myself a fan of Melty Blood. But anyway. I don't know if I want to join the room with this guy because his name is glitched out. Have you ever had a person who was so desperate to chat with people that they... Or have you ever seen a person who's so desperate to chat with people that they have some sort of social media account, number or name, in their hunter name? I mean, he's really... I don't know what's going on with him. I can only assume that that's what his name is. I don't really understand it. And see, the room name's glitched out too. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. He must be crying out for some sort of support. Oh, this is Dibby. That's his name, isn't it? Yeah, Dibby UK. Isn't that the guy who watches me? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is him. I knew the name was familiar, and then I realized, oh yeah, he's a viewer. That's why it's familiar. Isn't Pitched Pinnacle... Yeah, that's Devil Joe. Yeah. I could make a room, I suppose. Recruiting with Seth. Let's see what Seth's doing. I do have Vernon waiting in the wings, so... don't want to have him sitting around for too long. I don't know if Exio's playing right now. He might be. This is the time of day when he plays. If you can't get in Vernon, then I will just make my own room to save ourselves the headache. If you feel like you have to abandon the quest or whatever, don't worry about it. They won't know, but I will know, and I'm not going to fault you for that. So just play it by ear, and if it's too painful, don't do it. Yep, you made it in alright. Haven't played Monster Hunter recently. Last time I played Monster Hunter actually was in Try, because I did, while I said that I didn't set up the city mode for Try on the emulator, I did actually get myself fully set up in Try on the emulator just, you know, before engaging in the process that would eventually result in a city mode that I could access. I got the ISO file, which is not actually an ISO, it's something else. And I also brought my save over from my Wii. And it's working perfectly fine. I also, to my pure pleasure and delectation, was able to remove the bloom from the game, like completely remove it. Which actually makes the game quite dark, because the brightness of the game was reduced because of the incredible amount of bloom that was in Monster Hunter Try. But I've actually removed it, and it looks amazing. It looks so good without the bloom. It's incredible. I mean, it really makes you wonder how any of us ever put up with it, quite frankly. Like, you go into the desert, and it's just blinding. It's like a fucking nuclear explosion has gone off when you go into the desert. It's so fucking bright. It's just this... Ugh. But with bloom removed, it looks like the desert, as it should be. And you come to realize that there's still a decent amount of bloom in 3 Ultimate, but it's nothing like it was in Try. Try was a complete mess. Don't know what they were thinking with that. It's just terrible. Bringing longsword uses up, hey, you know, 21 uses with a longsword, for some people, would be something to take pride in, and something to flaunt. So, I do love that I actually avoided a room that was doing this very quest. And here we are. It's fine, I haven't done Hyper Devil Joe a lot recently. For some reason, again, Hyper Devil Joe is one of those monsters that everyone seems to want to fight. But I've been lucky enough to avoid it recently, so that's nice. Bit of a rough hunt for Vernon, I will say, but anyway. Hello, Blue Barn. I don't remember what I said. Oh, I can't remember saying the word blue or uttering the word blue, but I probably did. Alright. I could either bring Oppressor's Boon or Magnestar Eden. I don't know if it's Eden or Eden. Eden. Could really be either one, couldn't it? It's actually more likely to be Eden. I'd say it's more likely to be Eden, but I'll call it Eden. Not to be confused with the garden, of the same pronunciation, but not of the same spelling. Anyway. Apparently Shamue needs to work on their armor set. According to Vernon, let's have a look. Oh, no, take it easy. Don't ask too much of these people. Don't ask too much of these people. Quite frankly, that's good enough. At Hunter rank 133, you can come across some pretty fucking terrible armor sets. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Not worth critiquing in any way. It's just a standard, you know, Generations Ultimate armor set. I'd say the priority for that person would be to make new weapons. Oh, whoops, I'm not eating for exchanger. No need for that. I really want, well, it doesn't matter what I eat for, honestly. Let's go for Weakener, sure. Am I in? Zor you in? Asks Seth. No, I'm hanging around for fun. I take pleasure in just joining rooms and not hunting anything. It's just what I do with my free time. I don't know, I mean, somewhat eccentric, but can't judge me. You don't know my story. Okay. Shamue is pinging, even though I think 98% of the player base knows where Deviljho starts in this map. But thank you. That is very much appreciated. The irony is that if you don't know where Deviljho starts in this map, you probably don't know much about this map, and that's a tiny Deviljho. Like a really tiny Deviljho. This one is small. But yeah. You probably don't know the map very well either, so therefore the ping wouldn't be of much help, because the area is very confusing if you're not familiar with it. Yeah, that too, Blue Barn. I'm the local photographer. I screenshot rooms, don't hunt anything, and then I leave. Or in this case, I'm more of a videographer than a photographer. What am I doing with myself? Play the music properly. Either play it properly or just get out, Doomlink. It works in my favour anyway, because this guy hadn't even joined the room yet. Or entered the room, joined the room. He's joined the room, he's joined the session. But he wasn't physically in the area with the monster anyway. You know what I'm talking about? I don't need to actually make that any clearer to you. I knew he was going to get thrown off because I saw the progress bar go from like 3/4 full to not existing anymore. And then the monster threw him off. Oh no, Seth is disconnected. I saw him freeze. How annoying is that? Now we're forced to fucking 3-man this monster. What's going on? Is the host being selected? Well, I guess we can take advantage of this. Oh no, everyone's disconnected apparently. Okay, and Vernon disconnected, but apparently Shamue is still here? What the actual fuck is going on? You know what that looked more like? That looked more like a server issue. Just me. Okay. That looked more like a server issue, but alright. Apparently it was just me. I've never had that situation before. Usually if I'm the one who's disconnected, it will show everyone disconnecting because I've lost connection to the session, right? But in this case, I lost connection to each of you consecutively, but with a delay of like 5 to 10 seconds each time. That was just really weird. I've never seen that before. That is new. Anyway, that's an opportunity for me to not do that quest, I guess. The Deviant 1 to 10 turns? Fuck right off, thank you very much. This Chinese guy needs help. He's got the character for Ha, which is likely just a character that also exists in the Chinese alphabet, if you can even call that an alphabet. And, yeah. Oh, happy birthday, Beta. Were you hunting Blue Barn? You're welcome to. I'll see what's going on. I don't know. Is Exio hunting? Did you see him online? Oh, he is online. He's available. I can fucking snipe him. Oh, he's with them. Well, he was with them. Oh, he's Hope. That's right. I don't really want to do that. Don't really. It's interesting. Dibby has actually paired up with Exio, which would make sense. I mean, they both play the game fairly regularly, and they both watch me, so that's fine. But no, they're busy. They're doing things. They're on task. I'm not gonna pull them away to hunt random things with me. And you know what? We're going to... Oh, that was a clear high rank room. I don't want to do high rank quests. You just started a G5 hunt? Blue Barn? Well, very well. Sorry, I did the thing where I joined the room and then immediately leave. You're gonna have to forgive me. I know that might be hard to understand, but... Cheetah, help me. That's a new one too. There are many firsts to be experienced in this community, and I've never actually had a person explicitly request the assistance of a cheetah in the hub name. That's new. That's really quite interesting. He'd be very excited to see me join. He'd probably think I was a cheater. I'm here to cheat, man. I'm here to one-shot all your monsters for you. I mean, the poor bastards at Hunter Rank 537. If you've reached the point in your experience where you actually want a cheater to help you, then maybe it's best to move on to either a different Monster Hunter game or just a different game in general. You've obviously reached a point where you're not getting anything out of it anymore. Anyway, I don't want to do Rust Razor EX, not interested. So many Hunter Rank 999s these days. I'm not joining a room called Beasting, that's ridiculous. Hyper Zenoga, sure. At this rate, that's about all I've got. Don't have many other choices. Oh, goodness me. Don't know what this guy's pulling. Let's just hope that he's cycling through his food or something like that. Because, quite frankly, I don't think he's going to get very far soloing that monster. He might. I mean, well, he could be using the Valor Heavy Pierce set. In fact, he's using a heavy bowgun, so that's exactly what he's using, because there's no such thing as a person using a heavy bowgun in Generations Ultimate and isn't using at least Valor, but particularly Pierce Valor. That's just the reality. Why would you use heavy bowgun for anything else? Anyway, what would I like to use for a Hyper Zenoga? How about Charge Blade? Something slightly different from the norm? Daora's World Bearer. Let's see what Phelo's doing. If he doesn't come back, and I'm expecting him to come back pretty damn soon, then I'm gonna disappear myself. I don't have time to sit around. I've been sitting around enough already. If I want to sit around, I can do it while looking for a better room. Really. Maybe they were a cheater and they were seeking help to quit. Help cheater? Yeah. Maybe he's the cheater and he's asking for help in some regard. Either to quit his cheating ways or to Or to do something, I don't know. Help me, I'm a cheater. I cannot be reformed. This guy's got 60 fucking seconds to come back from his quest. I don't know what he's doing, but... Oh, Beans did want to play, I didn't know. Okay, with that in mind, I might make a room, but I'm really giving this guy the opportunity to return. I don't know what he's trying to pull. I've never seen a person depart on a quest on their own while making an online room and not returning when people have joined the room. That's ridiculous. That makes no sense. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember seeing that. He said that he would play later. Hey Exio. I saw you in a room with Dibby. You're both welcome to play if you want to. But if you're on task, then that's fine. This guy is a complete fucking fool. I'm actually shocked by how stupid this person is. Sometimes I just have to sit back and almost take a moment to consider the level of stupidity that would be required for a person to behave in this way. It's one thing to just see the stupidity and be like, wow, that's stupid, and it's another to actually consider the mind behind the stupidity. My phone's vibrating. It is causing other things to vibrate on my desk. What are you vibrating about, sir? What do you want? Oh, I'm being told Ziyu by Zoak, which is a roundabout way of telling me to shush in Portuguese. Which is very, very roundabout, by the way. Not what you'd call real Portuguese, but anyway. Or maybe it is, I don't know. This room can fuck right off. I can't believe that person. Alrighty. We've got Afro Jesus. I would laugh, but if it's not funny, it's hard to laugh. Barber. We've got 2 references to hair. Pang 2 doing Hyper Devil Joe, not interested. Okay, I'll make my own bloody room. Fine, I understand. G-Ring. Fucking hell. Wasn't expecting there to be so few rooms to choose from. I probably should have set the... In fact, I will set the HR minimum to something higher than this. I think that would be a good idea. What's up? Video gaming. It is what I'm currently engaging in. And it's fun. I'm setting the HR minimum to 200. Actually, that's too high for Exio if he ever does want to join, so we'll set it to 100. Yeah. There we go. What are you screaming about? Chain Crypt plus 5, 2 slot. What, it's just tantalizingly close to being good, but it's not. I mean, that's fine, but you're not that close to a triple slot, you know. It's so easy to get a double slot, but it's pretty hard to get a triple. Just keep at it. Honestly, the worst thing to do is to go into that quest with a specific talisman in mind. You'll be there forever, or at least it will seem that way. Because there are so many different types of talismans you can get, so if you've got a specific one in mind, you'll be there forever. So, my recommendation is to just make do with what you have. Make your sets based on what you have, instead of, you know, deciding on a set before you've even got the talisman to make it. That's the best way to approach it. And then, when enough time has passed in the future where you're willing to remake the set because it's been so long since you made the original one, then you can reevaluate your choices based on the talismans you have on hand, or reevaluate any possible set that you can make based on that. So, That would be my recommendation. Or you can just, you know, sit there and do that run endlessly. If that's your idea of endgame monster. Everyone's got their preference. That would not be my preference. But anyway, hello. Managed to get people in this room pretty quickly. I'm not surprised, because there aren't many rooms to choose from that are decent. This is a fun quest, although it's in the arena. Slightly less fun, but fine. Actually, what are the monsters? They're all weak too, no. I'll just bring a raw weapon. What would be a decent raw weapon to bring? I don't know. I've got no idea. Imagine being hunter rank 600 plus and still using Neset armor. Well, imagine that and having heat cancel and cold cancel. Neset on its own isn't necessarily bad. There are actually certain combinations of skills that can only be achieved in this game with Neset. So it's fine to have it every now and again. It was fine to use it every now and again at higher hunter ranks, but imagine having heat cancel and cold cancel with it. It's quite unbelievable. But I guess he wants to be anti-environment. I don't want to have to drink a cool drink or a hot drink. I don't have time for that. As you do, my friend, as you do. Oh, hold on. Oh, I can go paralysis. I was not expecting that. I was 100% expecting to once again defer to, or give way to, Vernon, but he's not running paralysis. Hello, Kami. Apparently you've typed in the chat before, but I regret to say that I don't remember you, but welcome back either way. Attack large. And defender high. That's a nice combination. Increased attack and increased defense. That's a very patient room. None of them were asking where I was or leaving in a huff. They just sat there and waited politely. Well, maybe not politely. I didn't see them for much of that time. They would have at least walked in a circle a few times. Like, you know, spinning on the spot. They would have done that at least a little bit. But, yeah, largely polite. Alright. Yeah, I pretty much only play Monster Hunter when it's on camera, not playing much of it in my own time these days. Of course... Okay. Well, we've got the fence switch going, which is almost overkill. And we're all on this side. This thing's gonna die before the fence switch even drops. I'm trying to get Orange, seriously. Where is Orange? It's probably right on his back where I can't reach. This is absolute garbage. Where's the orange bit? Oh, fine, I'll just stick with 2 colours and rely on Extract Hunter. It is Generations Ultimate. Can you get back here? It is Generations Ultimate. I don't have to worry so much about getting my 3 colours. Oh, maybe I was maybe I was being a little bit, how do I say, unrealistic in expecting Arzuros to be dead before the fence switch goes down. Or rather, before the fence goes down. You know what I mean? That's a very weird reference. I didn't know the butt had a shell, but sure. Oh, I see what you mean. Apparently everyone's having trouble mounting today. It's the second time I've seen someone mount, and again it was a failed mount. Alright, let's go and get Orange then. There she is. Oh, knocked him down. My Kinsect assaulted his anus, and he fell on his face as a result. I almost feel sorry for him, but it's simply too funny to warrant me feeling sorry for him. Well, it might warrant it, but hasn't resulted in that emotion. Hasn't given rise to such an emotion. Can you get your scythe out of... Oh, it's Vernon, okay. Well, he's allowed to swing his scythe in my face. I'm not really going to bother with a mount. Which is an interesting thing to say given that I'm using an insect glaive. It's not something you hear every day. I mean, it shouldn't be that way, that an insect glaive user is just going to forego mounting entirely. Something's gone wrong in that situation. And I know exactly what went wrong. Capcom went wrong. I wouldn't be too sorry about that, Nexia. Insect glaive is a fine weapon type. It's better than being a cat main or a switch axe main. There's plenty of, or a longsword main actually. Let's not forget about longsword. There are so many weapon types that are worse to main than insect glaive. I think insect glaive is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. Oh yeah, let's use extract hunter while he's down. Don't have to risk missing it or anything like that. Oh. So the basis for that is the fact that you don't like the French. Okay, well, I guess that's understandable. Eak is in trouble, apparently, or was. His name reads like, you know, either some sort of expression of disgust, or the clearing of someone's throat, or, you know, like, you could also say that it's the sound of, you know, someone dry heaving, or actually, you know, vomiting, even. There is another word that I'm looking for, it's not coming to mind. The point being that that's what the name sounds like. I'm trying to not be in this list of chat options. Yuck. I've been playing pretty gently. I've not been very aggressive with this insect glaive today. I'm feeling gentle today. Rather taciturn, I suppose we could say. Just here to relax and have fun, and, you know, if that results in a few monsters dying, then that's the way it has to be. I mean, it is Monster Hunter. Didn't quite flinch him before the roar there. Which was unfortunate for my teammates, or for those who couldn't resist the roar, which I believe was 2 out of 4. Eek is in trouble again. I'm sure it's eek. I'm sure it's intended to be eek. But, you know, not the most pleasant name. Thank you, Umbra, but I would much prefer it if you went in and did some damage, thank you. Thanks, but no thanks, as they say. There we go. It's a good opportunity for Extract Hunter. Come to me, Kinsect. And that's the end of the quest. Fairly easy. Nothing too stressful. Oh, Bit of Baroth Kine. And now, for beer number 2. Switch Axe is a bit... look, Switch Axe is my least favourite weapon type. It actually is. And it took me some time to make that determination, really. I think some of you might have been around when I actually had this epiphany where I realised, you know, my least favourite weapon type is the Switch Axe. And I'd never really thought about it, but I realised that, you know, I'd probably made the decision in a very subconscious manner that it was my least favourite weapon quite some time ago. But it was only recently that I realised, oh wait, you know, I actually kind of hate using it, and that's the only weapon that I kind of hate using. I like all of them, I really do. And Cat doesn't count. I know some of you are saying, oh, what about Cat? Cat's not a weapon type. It's classed as one in the guild card, but it's not a weapon, it's a a way of life, it's a lifestyle. I'm a cat today. Whatever that could possibly be referred to. Well, that's furry, isn't it? I was going to say, in whatever way that would be, or in however way one would refer to that in the modern era. And then I realised, oh, hold the fucking phone, there is a word for that. It's called fucking furry. The first word being absolutely essential in that. Now, I don't have anything against furries, believe me, I had some furry friends. Which sounds wrong. I mean literally friends who were furries. Some years ago, back when furries were first peeking their heads out of their earthen holes, and I'd better stop there. But I was going to say unleashing a blight upon the world, but then I decided that'd be a bit offensive, but I just said it anyway. But yeah, no, the worst friend that I had, he was a scaly, and he was sexually attracted to pool toys, okay? He would, you know, buy blow-up pool toys, and yeah, you can imagine. So, you know, there's something missing there. I mean, we can be accepting of it if we want, but I think there's something missing, you know. Something happened during the sexual development of this person. Now, some people end up developing like a sadistic sexual nature that results in criminal activity. But in his case, he's fucking pool toys, which is probably fine, and I guess we should be supportive of that, but yeah, that was interesting. And he was also sexually attracted to dragons as well. He identified as one. And, you know, that's fine. That was 8 years ago. So, nothing new in the world, but more widely known these days. More widely known. Is his favourite character Donkey from Shrek? A fair question. But I don't know. I should have asked him about that. I should have been like, well, how do you feel about the sexual activities of the dragon in Shrek? Like, do you think that would work? Would you be interested in trying that? Being a dragon yourself, would you fuck a donkey? Would you do such a thing? Yeah, he would, actually. No, that was someone else. There was a different furry acquaintance, we'll say, who was sexually attracted to horses. That was a different one. I thought it was him for a moment, then I was like, no, that was... The one who was sexually attracted to horses I only spoke to maybe 3 times. But he was fine, I guess. As fine as a person who is sexually attracted to horses would be, I guess. You know, people have interesting tastes out there in the world, but... No, the point is that, you know, I'm pretty open to different types of people. What was the quest on the board again? I forgot what it was. I'm gonna have to check again. No, some of you might not realise, oh, that's right. Some of you might not realise the the communities that I've been in this thing we call the internet, but I've been in a few, and I've been around the block, I've seen it all, and have for quite some time. That's probably why I'm so desensitized to a lot of things, in terms of weirdness. But there's some people out there, let me tell you. There's all sorts of people. I could tell you stories. Oh dear. Some of them sad, some of them funny, and some of them downright scarring. But, yeah. That is the nature of the internet. How are you doing, by the way, Vernon? Are you able to play without being in pain? I'm almost at a loss as to what to eat these days, because I'm just so... My mind and my hands want to go and eat for Exchanger, but I have no reason to do so. So now I'm just sort of lost. I will be able to readjust soon, but it's hard. It's a very good point, Moonglow. This would be the perfect design for a gun lance, but it's not a lance. Oh, excuse me, it's not a gun lance, it's a lance, and no, I do agree. The funny thing is, the gun lance weapon design for Nibblesnuff is actually a sniper rifle. It's a sniper rifle with a bayonet on the end, and shield, obviously. And, yeah, which is perfectly appropriate, I think, but I suppose that would be the answer why. It's because they've all, or the answer as to why it is because they've got something more appropriate for a gun lance weapon type than a rocket-propelled grenade. So, there you go. But I think both work rather well. For instance, you're not really going to shoot a rocket-propelled grenade at close range. That's... I would describe that as undesirable. You're probably not going to get too much use out of that. You'll get use out of it once, and then you'll be dead. That's just how that works. But, oh, I was not paying attention to what Glavenus was doing in that moment. But yeah, back on Lance, I've somehow warmed to Lance. I've never been against Lance, but it hasn't really been a weapon type that I've used all that much. As you can see, I can't shield much of this damage. I don't think I have guard +2, or even guard +1 for that matter. I do. Okay, it just turns out that the skill sucks in this game, that's fine. Beta Star, you may ask anything that you want. You are not prevented from asking questions, nor do you need to give notice before asking questions. You may ask questions just without any forewarning. Yeah, they are pretty relaxed, aren't they? We haven't actually yet, or I haven't yet, been reprimanded for taking too long. It could be the fact that they're just putting up with my shit because I'm a high hunter. That's probably what it is. It's not necessarily an indication of their dispositions. They could be perfectly impatient people, but just force themselves to wait because of who I am, Hunter rank 999. But it is possible that they're just not terribly impatient like the rest of the community is. Oh. No, I'm willing to use hammer, Beta, but I'm not willing to use a different style. I'm not willing to do that. But I'll use the hammer in the next hunt, regardless of whatever monster is on the board. I don't use enough hammer. I'm sure all of you will be able to attest to that fact. I just don't use it enough at all. So I'm happy to do it, I'm happy to have an excuse to use it. In this case it is being requested to do so. I'm happy to do that. But I will not use a different style to that of Guild. Oh! That's a lot of damage there, because to shield that and yet still take, like, I don't know, 25 to 30% of my health, that's not good. Just gonna poke here. I think the poke is almost no damage at all. It is, I believe, the lowest motion value attack of the lance, except for perhaps the shield bash. You know, I wonder what's worse, the shield bash or the poke. The poke can't be that good. Can't be. I'd say a shield bash would deal more damage, honestly. It would make more sense, because if you think about it, you're actually more vulnerable when doing a shield bash than you are when you're doing a poke, and I think that that should be what dictates the damage that you deal. It has to do with the vulnerability of the person. Actually, I think Umbra's got the right idea. I think he's going the right way. I hadn't even thought about it. I was too busy considering what... Oh. Well, I'll still get there in time. Yeah, thank you for the ping. Thank you for the ping. That's fine. But yeah, I was too busy wondering about the damage that Lance would deal. When it comes to motion value and how each attack, I guess, can be compared, or in other words, how much a particular attack would deal damage-wise and, you know, obviously motion value-wise in relation to other attacks, I feel like the best way to work that out, without looking at a chart that would simply tell you, is just by looking at it logically. What would logically deal the most damage? And what would logically deal the least damage? And then you draw, in your mind, a map of the most ideal attacks to do. And that usually has to do with what you are... How hard is it to get off that attack? How vulnerable are you when performing the attack? You know, things like that determine motion value as far as I'm concerned. And that's because, even though Capcom aren't good at it, balancing is part of the way Monster Hunter is designed. You have to at least have balancing in mind to some degree when designing Monster Hunter. Even if you're like Capcom and just can't succeed in that objective. And I'm sure there are exceptions to what I said before, like about how it has to do with the difficulty of getting the attack off and the, let's say for example, the level of invulnerability or vulnerability of the person when performing the attack. I'm sure there are exceptions to that. But for the most part, I'd say that's about correct. I don't get hung up on motion value, quite frankly. I don't get hung up on the mathematics of the game. Well, let Dibby know that I'm live, because he's welcome to come here when he's done. And he's of course welcome to tune in at any time. Hello, Yoshin X Clan. Hope you are having a wonderful morning or evening wherever you may be in the world. This is only one of 2 fucking Hellblade monsters, by the way. We're not doing too well, and I will be the first to admit that I'm not playing amazingly. I will take responsibility for my own poor play, first and foremost. Umbra hopefully will not die. I mean, really, we should be able to flinch this monster, or that. That works too. I did raise my shield, but he came from the side and managed to get me. I didn't just take the hit foolishly. It's 3 AM for you, jeez. Well, some people don't have sleep schedules. No, 3 AM was my bedtime for a long time, because I used to work proper evening shifts, and I will again work evening shifts, but not yet. I will in the future. And then I might do. No, those won't actually... No. I probably won't return to a 3 AM sleep schedule For a while. Probably ever again. Because, yeah, never mind. Where is this fucking monster? Seriously? You've gone straight to 10, have you? As you do. Go away, pink monkey. Alright, sounds good, Exio. Did you let Dibby know that I'm live? Because Dibby is one of my viewers, as I would assume you're aware, but anyway. Good wake up hit. I don't know if I want to calm you, honestly. But I suppose I will. Yeah, Dibby UK is one of my viewers. Yeah, that's why I said let him know that I wasn't being retarded. I wasn't making some weird joke when I said to let him know that I'm live. He's one of my viewers. Okay, I've never been flinched by a crab so much. Like I said, there is a first for everything in this fucking game. And with all the second gen Monster Hunter that I've played, I've never been flinched by a crab quite so much. That was ridiculous. You got disconnected? By him? Well. There you go. Probably just wants a real clean group. And you're probably not using Valor or something like that. Annoying as it is. Oh, the game server's being arsed. Yeah, I don't think Dibby's that concerned about a perfect run. I wonder if Dibby knows who you are. If he never said hello, then I guess he doesn't. How weird is it that two of my viewers are playing together and not even knowing that they're viewers? Like, knowing that the other person is a viewer of me, or whatever. Point being, that's funny. Yeah, Dibby's a cool guy. Fucking hell. This is a huge Glavenus. I don't know if you have noticed this, but he is a king. I'm actually intimidated by the size of this Glavenus. This is fucking scary. Dear God. The larger a monster is, the harder they are to deal with. It is the truth. You don't realise it. You probably think, you'd barely notice. Well, no, there is a noticeable difference when there is a larger monster, because all of their movements just have that much more reach. Everything that they do just seems to be harder to avoid, and it's because it is harder to avoid. That's fucking retarded. Speaking of hard to avoid, I mean, what was I to do in that situation? That was a load of crap. Also, failure is on the cards. We are one death away from failing this fucking quest, and that would be terribly annoying. I had no real desire to do this quest in the first place, but the reality is that that is what was posted, and I'm willing to do whatever is posted, provided it's not a high rank or a high rank deviant. Or, well, it would make more sense to say high rank in general. Actually, no, that's not true. If it's high rank hyper, I might do it. But if it's a regular high rank or a high rank deviant, no way in hell. But anyway, can you stop with your fucking combo attacks? I'm just gonna dive now, so that I can be ready to dive again. See? That's the theory behind that. I dived earlier, so that I'd be able to dive twice if he did the attack twice. That was the smartest thing that I could have done in that moment, and I was rewarded for my careful play. Not doing too well on the stamina front, although I can immediately fix that with a whatever it's called, Mega Dash Gears. Good flinch on the face. Even better flinch on the face. Courtesy of yours truly. I'd like to get more hits off on that face, quite frankly. It's feeling like it deserves to be targeted. Is there a free slot? Yes, there is, Beans. I will do some kicking. I'll remove Eek and Umbra. I feel bad for Umbra, but I also don't. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll approach it more gently. I'll remove Eek, because this is his quest. He's hosted this quest. And I'll bring... do I bring Beans in or Exio in first? Exio is probably half asleep, so I almost want to bring him in first, but Beans is... Okay, I'll bring in Beans first. And then we'll let Umbra host his quest, because he's done 2 quests just so that he can host his own quest. It would be terribly discourteous to remove him from the room just when it was his opportunity to post, so I will let him at least post a quest before doing that. What am I doing with myself? I'm standing in Area 3 attacking a Conga instead of going to Area 5 and fighting the damn monster. The sooner we can be done with this quest, the better, because we are 1 death away from failure. So, let's try to be a bit more proactive. Why did you smash your Switch, Beans? What brought that on? I do regret that you smashed your Switch, but I do wonder why. Must have been playing a Mario game or something. I mean, I don't know what you guys are... Look, if Exio goes first, then that's fine. Whatever you want. If that's what we're gonna go with, we'll lock that in and I'll bring in Exio first. Oh, the last game you were playing was Rise. Rise is pretty bad, but I probably wouldn't smash my Switch over. I'd sell the game, but I wouldn't smash my Switch. I mean, the Switch, if anything, it was an abuse of your Switch by, like, on your part, to even load the game into it. It's not the Switch's fault, poor Switch. I mean, you've already assaulted it by inserting such a terrible game. Well, this is assuming that you've got a cartridge and not the digital version. So the word insert wouldn't work in the latter case. But again, you know, you've already assaulted it by playing that game on it. And then you go and attack it on top of that. You physically assault the Switch. I mean, really. Poor thing. Rise is my favourite Monster Hunter game. No, there aren't too many people who say that, genuinely. Some will say it because they've sold their soul or something. Sold their soul to Capcom, but... You know, most of the Monster Hunter community will instead say, World is the best Monster Hunter game. World is the benchmark. Which is fine. Because everyone has a right to be completely wrong in this world. We reserve the right, inalienable as it is, to be dead fucking wrong. So... Oh, not this conversation again, Burn. Not this conversation again. It's good if you don't mind, like, the vast majority of things that make Monster Hunter special being just fucked with. It's great if you don't mind that. And a lot of people don't mind that. Vernon included. I, on the other hand, don't like that. Anyway. No, I don't really want to go on in that conversation. or get on that conversation. Again, someone would say, oh, well, you brought it on, Doomlink. Well, did I really? Did I really? I wasn't the one who mentioned Rise. So, I can't help myself, that's the point. I can help myself if it's never mentioned in the first place, but once it's mentioned, it's just... It's like opening a can of worms. Oh, welcome back, Exia. I didn't know you would... Oh, let me go and get a quick bowl of cereal. Fair enough. I like cereal. I eat cereal at any time of the day. Those fucking people who look at you sideways because you eat cereal for dinner, like, oh, bugger off. There's nothing wrong with cereal. Oh, whoops. I don't know what I replaced. I replaced something. Anyway, like, I can eat cereal at any time of the day. Why the fuck should it be only for breakfast? Oh, why on earth would you eat cereal for dinner? Why would you eat anything for any particular meal? Really? I mean, if it fills your stomach, it fills your stomach. Don't be so bloody foolish about it. That's what I have to say to that. Yes, QF Haro bikes. I do want to become famous. God, I'm one website away from being famous. I can't believe it. It's almost too good to be true. Huh. Anyway. I don't know if I actually ended up replacing anything. Maybe I didn't. Whatever. So, Eek is going to find... Okay, are you ready to join Exio? You're ready, okay. Just wanted to make sure. Umbra is getting ready for whatever his quest is going to be. I'll have to wait to see what he posts before getting ready myself. He should know that it is his turn to post. I trust that he knows. Zenogre enthusiasm. Very well. We finally got a chance to do that Hyper Zenogre that I was wanting to do before that fucking guy departed on some quest on his own and refused to return. He actually refused to return. He was like, nope, I'm doing a quest and you can live with them. Which begs the question as to why he even went online in the first place. Really? Oh yes, I said I'd use a hammer, didn't I? I'm glad I remembered. That quest went on for so long that I almost forgot. Fucking hell. So, ice, of course. Ice hammer. Daora. I was gonna challenge myself to remember what my ice hammer was, and then I realized, oh, well, it's actually not that difficult to remember. I have to find it, though. That might be the difficult part. Oh, it's auto-equipped. You know, if I could actually stop being so profoundly retarded, that would be excellent. What are you apologizing for? Oh, that's fine. I can live with that. Look, having a paralysis user is a great boon to a hammer user. I'm not going to complain. I'll take it. I mean, I would certainly prefer it if you weren't mounting as well, but sure. Bonkington. Yes, indeed. Thoughts on your fashion? Oh, I see what you're going for. It's a very, well, it's close to a Mordred hairstyle anyway. But, you know, tomboy look, I suppose. Although the baggy pants I can live without. The baggy pants I can live without. I don't know what I think leather pants would look better, personally. I think the leather pants would achieve the tomboy look better. And I'm assuming the leather pants still exist as an option in this game. I don't have a preference, Exia. I think both are great, depending on the person and depending on the situation. And depending on mood. He's giving me the opportunity to hit his fucking head and I'm not even here. Sorry, Umbra, I am a hammer user and you're gonna have to live with that. You're gonna have to live with being launched every now and again if you're wanting to stay near the head. So hammer is your least favourite weapon type, Beta. Why is that? Is there a particular reason, or do you just happen to not like hammer? You just woke up one day and realised, oh, I don't like hammer. Well, maybe there's actually more of a reason behind it than that, but... Can I get him on a turnaround? Well, I could have, but he didn't turn to face me. Please, Umbra, please do not do this thing. I understand that you have this compulsion to aim for the weak point, but I am the hammer user and you're a switch axe user. Those things do not go together very well if I'm the hammer user. And if you don't know what you're doing, which you might know what you're doing, but I don't know. I'm a bit concerned. Goodness me. Down you go, down you go. Spinning meteor time. Oh, fuck me up my asshole. I understand what happened there. We both tried to reposition. I was in one place, and Hope was shooting me there, so I repositioned, but then Exio repositioned also, and then ended up hitting me a second time. Understandable, it happens, but... the general solution would be to stop being such a fucking idiot. No, no. But be careful. I will say that. I will say that much. I'll try to get the head. It was a valiant effort. Oh, he did one of the fast charges. Very well. I could do a bit of a hammer stream. Maybe I could give hammer a bit of attention. How about we do that? I'm not usually in the mood for hammer, I have to tell you. It's usually more effort than I feel like allocating to hunting a monster. When I have to aim for a specific part of the monster constantly, I just feel like, you know, it's almost like I've lost my freedom to just do whatever the fuck I want in that moment. I'm gonna scream if I get flinched one more time while charging my hammer. I'm going to bellow expletives, and it will entertain every single one of you. But seriously, I don't like being flinched with a hammer. That's no-no. That's a no-go. It's a no-go, bro. Just to rhyme in the most cute way possible. That was a pretty clean fucking flinch, except that Umbra needs to act... You know the funny thing, Umbra? You could have been removed from this room without ever being given the opportunity to post your quest. And what do I get in return for that show of concern for you and your time? I get infinite axe chop on the head when I'm trying to use a hammer. That's what I fucking get in return. That is my return on investment. You know what? I'm going to kick you not because someone's going to join in your place who needs to join, but rather because I am going to take pleasure in removing you from this room for being an ignorant dick. And he has no idea, like he has no idea just how he's inconveniencing me. He's just playing the game and has no idea that he's making the hammer user's life a living hell. He just doesn't understand. But he's going to have to understand eventually that as a switch axe user, you have to be careful of who you're fucking up. And you're fucking up the hammer user, which is not in any way desirable for the team. Because the hammer user is there to do work for the benefit of everyone. That relates to KO build-up. As KO builds up, an actual KO will eventually eventuate. Which the entire team can take advantage of. This person can go and fuck themselves, and I got a Skymerald for my trouble. I got a Skymerald. The game literally apologized for Umbra's poor play and his unseemly behaviour. That's fine, Exio. Oh yeah, well I can understand that that first generation Monster Hunter is not a good introduction to Hammer. That's not a good introduction at all. Well, that's understandable, Beta. I think that's fine. Fair enough. Hey, that was my second, or at least my second Gold Crown Small for Zenoga. Yeah, I think Beta does emulate it, Exio. I know she at least emulates Freedom Unites, so wouldn't surprise me if she plays the first Monster Hunter online. I do. I mean, I'd be willing to play with her, quite frankly. I don't have many people to play with. I play the Japanese version, actually. For good reason. Because I want to be able to carry my save over to Monster Hunter G. So, I need to play the Japanese version. And even if you don't speak Japanese, fear not. There is a full English patch for the Japanese version that probably is more professional and generally better done than the official translation, quite frankly, but it does come across that way. Oh yeah, Umbra, I hope you're ready. If I could press the right fucking button. Holy god, I don't even know what I'm doing with myself. I've never been so thoroughly confused. Get out of the room, you fucker. Absolute loser. What Soulseer would I, or which Soulseer would I suggest for Tails? Let's just do the one feint. Just do the one feint. Alright, Beans. As you do. I was removing Umbra no matter what, because fuck that guy. I regret, as usual, if you want to, if you have someone else's best interests at heart and in mind, at least in this community, you'll realise, well, why do I even bother? Fuck these people. Fuck them. They're idiots. They're idiots. Anyway. What should I do? Soulseer. Well, I suppose using a cutting weapon would be a good idea. Oh, actually, no. I should use a hammer because, of course, the KO build-up will present us with opportunities to actually cut the tail as a team. So that'll be fine. Giga Vortex Hammer or Geiger Vortex Hammer, I don't know. Yeah, that's fine. I hope 9MZ, or 9MZ as I should say, as a non-American, I hope that he's willing to never post a quest. Oh, you did get insurance. Okay, that's great. That is excelente, as they say in Spanish-speaking countries. Apparently. According to Dora the Explorer. Hueputa gonorrea. Which is an expression of dissatisfaction with Dora the Explorer. But seriously. Dora's a hoe. Okay. No, look, Dora... I'm neutral to Dora. I never watched it because she's a bit after my time, but You know, it didn't seem like it insulted my intelligence. A friend of mine, his nephew, is really my only exposure to children's television, because I don't really have any other young kids that I've ever been associated with. And he had Dora the Explorer on the television, and I watched it, and, you know, it's not terrible. Like, it's not fucking horrendous. There are some horrendous shows out there. It's not like, you know, it's not like Pingu, or, you know, it's not Pingu, but it's just good. Well, not good, it's not terrible, is what I should say. There's no Pingu. You know, I watched Pingu, and that was a weird show. You know, Pingu was very strange. I was quite put off by Pingu, I really was. There was something so off about that show that I watched it out of morbid fascination, in the way that you sort of watch a horror movie knowing that you're going to be scared, but you watch it anyway because you're somehow pleasured by it. Now, I wasn't scared of Pingu, but I was put off by it. I was actually not in any way pleased by the show, or pleased while watching the show. It was just odd. It was like, what is this? So whenever Pingu would come on, I'd sort of just be sitting there like the whole time. But, you know, that was that show. It was fucking weird. The Teletubbies was shit. Absolute shit. Like, that show was fucking bad. I remember the vacuum cleaner. The vacuum cleaner was like the only good thing about the damn show. And then I actually remember, this was towards the end of me watching, well, no, I shouldn't even say that. I wasn't watching the Teletubbies. At no point did I watch the Teletubbies. I sort of saw it every now and again, and I was like, what is this crap? Okay, let's see what they're doing today. Being creepy is what they're doing today. But I do recall when it just all turned white. I think the year was 2003. I think that's what it was. Either 2002, 2003. And, you know, they weren't in this, you know, green place anymore. You know, like grassy fields with a creepy sun that was actually a baby. It was just a white studio. And I remember specifically thinking that it was the worst decision that anyone had ever made to change that format. I was thinking, why would they do that? It makes no sense. You've literally just ruined it. And I think everyone agreed, quite frankly. I don't know how I've been playing, actually. I haven't been playing consciously at all. Hopefully I haven't been playing too terribly. Ah, bloody bubbles. Blues Clues? That's quite topical, actually, because the Blues Clues guy actually made a statement recently, which was very nice. I did watch Blues Clues a little bit. You know, late 90s. And he was nice. I enjoyed him. He was very laid back, and I felt that the show had a unique feel to it. It felt intimate in a way that other shows weren't. And I liked it. It didn't define any part of my childhood, but I watched it every now and again with him. I didn't even know that someone had replaced him, because I didn't watch it for long enough to see that. I think he was replaced in 2001, 2002, something like that. But yeah, it was a good show. I thought it was quite good. And I thought his statement was very nice. It was for the 20th anniversary or something, wasn't it? I think so. Must be more than 20 years old. That doesn't sound right. Some sort of anniversary anyway. 25th, that makes more sense, yeah. It couldn't have been 20 years, no. Because it's 2021, fuck me. I do actually genuinely forget that it's 2021 half the time. I do genuinely forget. Main objective complete. I am sorry that the tail was not cut. There are a few reasons as to why. The first is that I'm not contributing at all. The second is that 9MZ probably didn't aim for it either. He was not informed, and I was not paying attention to the hunt, which means that, for one, I didn't think to send my shout, send my shout requesting for people to aim for the tail, people being 9MZ. And as well as that, I probably could have played a little better than I did. So I probably could have gotten more KOs and all of that, so... You know, the theory of me using hammer somehow helping in cutting the tail did not in any way reflect the reality that I had in my head. So... Yeah, you see, I have a shout for that, Vernon, so it's my mistake for not having sent that. For the sake of the Switch Axe guy. But yeah, had I actually paid attention, I probably wouldn't have even used a hammer because I'm not the only person not dealing cutting damage. So... I'm happy to do that again, actually. Beans, are you ready to join? I do expect people at this hour to understand English. In fact, this is the funny thing. There is a greater chance of Europeans being able to speak English than Chinese people. When I'm on, like, in the mornings in my time zone, it's like being in China. It's like, it's fucking Chinatown in here. And they don't speak a lick of English, my friend. Whereas the Europeans, oh yeah, you've got a pretty good chance of them being able to speak enough English to communicate with. So, you better believe I'm expecting to... Anyway. No, you did not tell me that story, Exia. Yeah, apparently you were the target of a racist remark, or a racist something or other. Beans is ready to join. Let us remove 9MZ, not because he's a bad person, or in any way incompetent, or, you know, he has not transgressed, he has not done something, he's not, you know, reneged on a responsibility or anything like that. He's just a man who, or a woman, or a something else, who just needs to be removed for someone else to join. That is the reality. Haven't played with Beans in a while, actually. Authority Viator. Authority Viator. Okay. What is this greatsword? It's a something or other, is what it is. It's being... Oh, I see it. It's quite similar to another weapon I've seen before. So, likely from... I don't know. I don't know what it is. The point of the matter is that it's not a weapon that I often see, which is why I took notice of it in the way that I did. Oh, well, thank you for the for the specific game-related explanation, Exio. I know absolutely nothing about the game, but thank you. Yes. But don't be assuaged from telling your story. I would like you to continue. And just know that it falls on deaf ears when you explain game-specific intricacies. Okay. Stay on your fucking side, you beaner. I hope Joe Biden leaps you all on the other side of it. Okay. Well... yeah. A beaner is no doubt some sort of derogative term for Mexicans. How that person knew Exio was Mexican, I don't know, but... Actually, no, come to think of it, I know exactly why. It's because Exio cannot stop himself from letting everyone know that he's Mexican. He has to tell everyone. Hello, I'm Mexican. He's like the... Well, actually, he's not like New Zealanders. If you know anything about New Zealanders in online games, there is no such thing as like a New Zealander who takes you by surprise. It's not like, you know, you've been playing with this guy who is from New Zealand and you didn't know. Like, that doesn't exist. Because they'll let you know in some way or another. It'll either be in their name, it'll be in some text that can be edited. Let's say, for example, in Call of Duty, it'll be in a clan tag. Like, NZ will be in their clan tag. Like, you will see the letters NZ somewhere. Or they'll fucking tell you. You're not going to just find that out. Oh, you're from New Zealand. Okay, good to know. That doesn't happen. Because they want you to know that they're from New Zealand, as if it actually matters, as if their country of origin is somehow important. You know, you don't see me going around saying, yeah, I'm Aussie, hi, I'm an Aussie guy, hey guys, I'm Aussie, AUS Doomlink, that's my name on Twitch. You know, none of that business. Yet the New Zealanders, if I were from New Zealand, that'd probably be my name, Doomlink NZ. Really. Because apparently it's extremely important that everyone knows that they're from New Zealand. And it's exactly the same with all the islanders. All the you know, the Samoans, the Tongans, oh, hallelujah. They all need you to know where they're from. Because apparently, that's important to us. I'm playing with some random motherfucker who I'm never going to talk to, never going to meet them, I don't give a shit about them, but I know that they're from Samoa, and Tonga, and wherever else. And New Zealand, incidentally. And God forbid if they're Maori. If they're Maori, oh, I know two things about them. The first is that they're Maori, and the second is that they're from New Zealand. Because it's probably NZ Maori Warrior or something like that. That's probably their name. And NZ's probably written not once but twice somewhere. Anyway, sorry, that's a rant that's been building up for 10 years. And it just came out of me. I'm sorry, but... Actually, I'm not sorry. I don't apologise for any of what I just said. That, but it's been building. And I would like to make it very clear that none of my rage is directed at Exio specifically, because Exio is different to that. He makes fun of the fact that he's Mexican, but these people are awkwardly prideful, and, you know, I don't care where they're from. Anyway. Well, enjoy your Colombian wife, Exio. Okay, no problem, Vernon. I am using a weapon that I'm quite excited to use. I don't often use the darkness within, but the darkness within just showed itself. You know, I just had a little bit of a rant about things that needed to be discussed. Anyway, I've still got a bit of gin left in here. This has been sitting here since the morning. My mornings are playing World at War and drinking gin. That's how I spend my mornings. It's actually a great way to start the day. It's lovely. But I would recommend against drinking spirits when you're still feeling drowsy. There's something about it. It doesn't feel quite right. Because the sensation of being drowsy, like when your head sort of... It's almost like a sensation in your head when you're tired from sleep. That's actually quite similar to the sensation of... Well, what people described as feeling buzzed. It doesn't feel quite right to double down on that sensation. I can tell that it's... Oh, Vernon. Oh, Vernon. What have you allowed yourself to do? Alright. Well... Failed the wake up and I got hit. But that's alright. We're looking to hit the tail. So we shall do that. Oh, did we get insurance in the end? I forgot to actually check to make sure that someone got insurance and to, furthermore, eat for insurance myself if it was necessary to do so. You didn't wake him up? On my screen the bubble hit you. You know what it is? If a person is touched by a bubble on anyone's screen, I think it will wake the monster up. It's one of the weird things about Monster Hunter multiplayer. Like, for example, you can see bombs detonate randomly, even though nothing on your screen touched them. It's because on someone else's screen, it was destroyed by a small monster, for example. So, yeah. I'm going to put this monster in a shock trap. Our DPS is going to be in the toilet if we're just aiming for the... I did dive there, actually. Not that you would have noticed. Not that you would have noticed. Hey, there's a... See, I was hoping for... Well, actually, I wasn't hoping for anything. Forget what I was about to say. Or forget the fact that I was about to say something. I'm missing most of these strikes. Alright, I'll try to drop a shock trap. Actually, you know what? I'll shock trap out of the mount that is no doubt about to be achieved. Hello, Ale Hitty. Yeah, it's been so long since you've tuned in that I don't even remember you, but welcome back. Did I play Rise? Yes. Will I continue to play Rise? No. How long did it take for me to stop playing Rise? 1 week. End of discussion. I think it was 1 week. I don't think it would have been much more than that. And the funniest thing is that I was not the first of my friends to stop playing it. Having said that. Oh dear. I think this tail is going to go pretty soon, because Exio's helping out with slicing shots. That was rather clean, wasn't it? Didn't achieve anything in terms of cutting the tail, but... or assisting in the cutting of the tail, but yeah. Oh, fuck. I was just forced crouched into a hole. Which is a strange thing that I just said, and not quite what I was intending to say. There goes the tail. About that shock trap, it never came in the end, but I will actually put down a pitfall trap. Let's see if it ends up being somewhat on target. Oh, good flinch. Very nice. And very good timing for a paralysis. I'm going to keep away from the front claws. That's not really going to be good to aim for without any elemental damage attached to my weapon. Now, if I'm set in the air and I'm using a longsword with the gauge fully charged, I should be using the spirit combo when in midair, for the reason that it's just good damage. And it... oh, hello. I don't know who hit me there. I think it might have been Beans. Oh, Beans is also using Death Grip. 2 people running Death Grip. This is new. Don't think I've seen that in a while. Maybe not new. It might not be entirely novel, but it's unusual at the very least. Let's call it unconventional. That it is. Put weapon away. When were you last watching me, Ale Hitty? How long ago, roughly? I don't remember you at all. You're either part of that... what was his name? I think Radbrad or something? I think he raided me or something in 3 Ultimate, and I had a bunch of new viewers, and the only one who stayed was Takashi. You're either one of those people, or you're from before that. I don't know. I'm not sure anymore. There you go. But yeah, like I had these viewers who stuck around for like a week. from that raid, must have been about 5 of them that stuck around. I was followed by more than that, or I received more follows than that, but they didn't actually stick around. But they fucked off after about a week. I don't know what more I could have done. You know, maybe got on my hands and knees and sucked them off. Maybe that could have helped, but outside of that, you know, couldn't have done much more than what I did, so... yeah. That's Twitch for you. Sometimes you gotta suck them off. But that's alright. I'm not bitter. I'm just deeply enraged. But I'm not. Well, I'm glad that... well, I wouldn't expect one from the rewards, Vernon, but it's good that you managed to... oh, you didn't even get a tail. Well, that's unfortunate. Salsier tails from the rewards. I don't know if that... I think it's technically possible, but usually it's the carb that you're looking for. Anyway. At least we cut it. That's one good thing. Alright. Trap and bombs, thank you. That's what I want. Okay. Now, I suppose Exio can post. That'll work. I got one in the tail and one in the reward. Yes. Spoken like a true Mexican. Oh, that's right, that was Vernon's last hunt. Anyway, we will indeed continue with Exio as the next quest host, and we will spin the roulette on player 2 slot and see who from the community will grace our humble room. It's not even that, Exio. I don't even know anything about Mexicans. Really what I was trying to get across was that it was more like a person who doesn't speak English as a first language, so there was nothing about that I could really associate with Mexicans specifically. Anyway. It's Americans who are racist against the Mexicans because they're kind of close to Mexico. I don't know anything about Mexicans. But if I knew anything about them, I know that I wouldn't like them! Which is not true. I don't know anything about them, so therefore I wouldn't know. But, yeah. Oh, good to know, Blue Barn. Not necessarily a bad thing. Can be fun for some people. We eat beans, like to do hard work, drink beer, and also say "wey" a lot. Okay. Cabron? Don't know what cabron means. Means something or other. Something in Spanish. Wey. Oh. Okay. Hola, cabron. Something like that. Anyway. Way is also like saying dude. Okay. What am I doing with myself? Shit, what was on the board? You can remember. Am I remembering Hyper Devil Joe? Did you post Hyper Devil Joe? Oh, jumping, Jesus. That's why I forgot, it's because I actually blocked it out. I saw it and I blocked it out. My brain was like, no. But, fine. I'm happy to do it. It's just, I I specifically avoided a room that had it last time, and then I made a room of my own and some guy posted it anyway. And now I'm doing it again. But I don't mind. Yeah, if you need to freeze armor, I'm happy to do it, because... yeah, knowing your objective, I'm happy to help. Let's bring blunt lance. And, ooh, do I have... the Nakakos lance? I don't think I do. No. Oh, that's right, I use the Fatalis... do I use the Fatalis lance for this? I might. Even if I don't, it works. It definitely works. Yeah, let's use that. I do use this, I've used it before. Yeah, let's do that, that's fine. Oh, I don't have an issue with Deviljho as a hyper monster on his own, it's just the fact that I've fought him so many times. He's one of those monsters that is in high demand, so the monotony of it is what I'm concerned with. So, I'm actually going to go to the bathroom. Hopefully we'll get a fourth by then, I don't really want a 3-man. We'll see who we end up getting. I'm not really holding out hope for anyone half decent, but we'll see what the community gives us. I'll be back in a moment. I am back. Apparently Exio disconnected. Not because he chose to disconnect, but rather because he had some sort of bout of network instability. Dung Master, no. I was about to eat for it just for fun, and then I realised, no, it's Hyper Deviljho, I think I'll eat for something decent. I will take this quest a little more seriously than that. Well, how about Weakener? There you go. Hello, Adam. What's going on with Adam? Adam, at Hunter rank 293, has full Neset and decent armor skills. You know, at least he's not running heat cancel and cold cancel. Of course, I'm comparing him to the guy at Hunter rank 600 and something who was using Neset and had those two skills gemmed in with decorations. What the fuck? Anyway. I mean, to each their own, but what the fuck? Some people really are hopeless. You like his set? Yeah, it's functional, it's good. It's not very creative, but it's good. Again, it's functional. It does the job. It is a good armor set, strictly speaking. Okay. I don't even know why I ended up using Lance in the end. I think I was just looking through all the things that I had in terms of armor sets and decided, oh, Blunt Lance is something that I don't often use, so may as well do that. Well, that's true, Exio, and quite frankly, the NES set armor set is the correct response to the concern that Capcom had, which was that people were not making mixed armor sets because it was just, it was not intuitive for most people to make a mixed set. This guy is going to flinch me so much. It was not intuitive for most people to use a mixed set, and Capcom realized this. Their answer was the NES set armor set. But then the answer changed from the NES set armor set to, let's change the whole fucking skill system so that there's no need to even either make a mixed set or not make a mixed set. Let's just instead make it so that there is no reason to have a full armor set. Well, actually, no, they technically did give you a reason. Admittedly, that was a good system. To make it so that there was still an incentive to make a full armor set by way of set bonuses. That was a good implementation, I will admit. But the way in which they changed the skill system for me was not in any way an improvement. Although I've had conversations with people who 100% disagree with that statement that I've just made, that it was not an improvement. They felt that, it was something that had to be changed. It was inevitable that it would be changed. But in my opinion, it was inevitable that it would be changed only for the reason that Capcom had a new target audience. That was the only reason why it was inevitable. Outside of that, there was nothing wrong with the fucking system. So, it did not need to change in that way, and it was not inevitable by virtue of the fact that it was in any way unintuitive or not good enough or, insufficient. It was perfectly fine. It was a good setup, a good system. So in other words, there is a specific type of person the NES set armor set caters for. It is the person who doesn't want to put much thought into their armor set creation. It's the person who would rather not work on a mixed set, and the person who feels disadvantaged by using a full armor set from a particular monster. So they can just use the NES set armor set and succeed. They have an easy way to have whatever skill they want on the armor set. They don't have to mix and match pieces. It's easy. The benefit to that was that I can still play how I want to play, while they play how they want to play. But when you change the skill system, basically that prevents me from playing in the way that I'm comfortable with, for the benefit of a specific group of people, which is the wrong way to approach it. The best way to approach it is in a balanced way, which is to benefit both parties. They did that successfully in this game. The mere fact that I have the option to use guild style, for example, is something to praise Capcom for. They had changed the landscape of Monster Hunter so drastically with styles, yet I can still, right here, right now, play this game as I would Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I am not forced to use styles in the way that they probably want me to, or in the way that many other people do. I can play in a standard way. I can actually choose to continue my 4 Ultimate experience in a game that has more choice than just, a standard way of playing Monster Hunter. You're not forced into anything, in other words. That's the right way to approach change. Don't disenfranchise people who've grown used to a specific way of playing. That's why 5th Gen was such a, in my opinion, insulting departure. It was because it didn't matter anymore that there were people who appreciated the series as it was. It didn't matter. They were going to reboot the series. I strongly stand by the opinion that 5th Generation was a reboot. That's what it was. That's the reason why it's not even 5th Gen. Why else would they make no reference to the prior generations of the series, if not to very clearly outline the fact, or underscore or outline the fact that this is new Monster Hunter. We've moved on from the older games. This is something new. This is something different. The reality is that in doing that, they walked away from the history of the series, the legacy that they had left behind. And this was reflected in the fact that a person like me was just totally left behind by the changes that they made, because of the fact that they've walked away from the legacy. They don't have to live up to a standard, they don't have to live up to a particular convention as previously established, because they've basically gone and rebooted the fucking series. And that was a problem for me. That was a big problem. Probably quite freeing for Capcom, but not for me. And I'm sorry to see that you disconnected, Exio. That's unfortunate. But yeah. I don't know, I'm very disappointed with the way Monster Hunter's gone. And I'm so fucking sick. It makes me sick when I talk to world players. Like, there's a... I won't mention him by name. But there's a guy that I know who's played Monster Hunter for as long as I have, who likes World. And he will not stop talking about that game. Absolutely every Monster Hunter game has to be compared to World. Just everything is all about, oh, World this, World that, World this, World that. This is different to World in this way. World, 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 World. It's hard to go back. It's hard to go back. You dick. You dick. It makes me sick. It fills me with just displeasure that a person with the same experience that I have is literally, their experience is dictated that, well, when I say experience, I mean what they see and what they feel and what they do when playing Monster Hunter is so aggressively dictated by the fact that they enjoy and play World. Everything has to be compared to World. Whenever they go back to the older games, it's like, World did this, World did that, it's different in this way, blah, blah, blah. So, fucking God, can you shut up? Can you shut up? Because quite frankly, you're comparing things that are so different that it's not even worth comparing them. Because the implication is that World was somehow designed with the intention of keeping with tradition. It was not intended to be that way. It was intended to be a departure. Therefore, there's no point really comparing old Monster Hunter to World, because it's not the same thing. They are intended to be different. And so, to actually go out of your way to compare old Monster Hunter to World is just... it is purely and manifestly asinine, and it fills me with displeasure. It's actually sickening. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It's revolting. It's... I cannot believe that people can... well, I wouldn't say that they are so misguided. You know, everyone has their opinions, and some people come to their conclusions for perfectly good reasons. You know, they have justifications for why they feel a certain way. But it is so far removed from what is, in my mind, a perfectly logical point of view that I can't really justify it. There is a free spot, Blue Bar. You are welcome to join. You can join right now if you'd like to. If you can. There's a... well, actually, yeah, Exio did not rejoin. You wouldn't be taking Exio's spot anyway, because Adam is here. Adam is a random person. But yeah, you are welcome to join. What I ask is that no person, and it's dangerous to do this, not to say this, but rather to do what I'm about to say that people don't do, it's dangerous to take what I say personally. My opinions regarding 5th generation Monster Hunter are extreme. They are visceral, in-depth, and I am unapologetic in the expression of these opinions, but to take them personally is really, I mean, that is to the detriment of any person who wants to do that. I mean, I don't have a personal issue with people who like 5th gen, but it sickens me to the core that people like 5th gen. To the core. I've never played a game where I was so deeply offended by an iteration in a series. It's incredible. I've never been so sickened. To me, it's an insult to the intelligence of the community. It actually is. Like, it's... What it is, it's... They've basically taken the image of something. Okay, let's imagine, for instance, that you've taken the image of something that you are very familiar with. You love it. You love that thing. And they've taken the image of it, and then they've dumped us. They've just absolutely pinched out a loaf. Big pile of shit. And they've shaped it into the form of that image of the thing that you love. And they've even polished it. They've polished it. It's like, oh, look at this thing that's, you know, I can relate it to what I'm familiar with, and it's polished, and it's lovely. But it's shit, and they know it. In other words, there are these fundamental underlying issues, which, in my analogy, relate to the fact that it's a big fucking turd that people are willing to eat because it looks appetizing. But it's a fucking turd. Now, the analogy would be lost on some people. Some people would take it purely in a comedic fashion. Oh, ha, ha, ha. He's relating it to shit, but it's nothing like that. But that's about 95%, like, that concurs almost entirely with what I view to be the reality. I mean, there's a little bit of embellishment for the sake of impact and for the sake of making a silly analogy, but 95% of it is accurate. Like, really, it's in the image of what is good, but it is not good, in other words. That's what I'm trying to say. It is fundamentally flawed, therefore, it is not good. It's missing the essence of what makes it something special. It has aspects of it, but it's soulless. It lacks the soul. But some people don't need that. Some people actually are not in any way in need of the soul of Monster Hunter to appreciate it. Now, there are two arguments that can stem from that. The first argument is that those who don't require the soul of Monster Hunter to enjoy Monster Hunter are, in fact, just less sensitive to the changes, and, in other words, are less sensitive to something devolving. The second argument is that it's purely evaluative, purely subjective, and has no relationship whatsoever to some sort of factual observation as to the improvement or devolution of the series, and that's the beginning and the end of the matter. I take the former point of view, as opposed to the latter point of view. So, that, what I just said, the last 30 seconds of what I just said, perfectly sums up the true essence of any argument that is had between a person who loves World and a person who hates World. That is the underlying, that is what underpins the entirety of any discussion that is had between those two conflicting points of view. So all I can do is express my distaste and dissatisfaction, and that's it. It's not even worth arguing about. It's worth, in my case, it's worth expressing my dissatisfaction, but to actually have a discussion about it is not worthwhile, because there are irreconcilable differences when it comes to this topic of discussion. So there you go. You don't need to try grabbing it, Blue Barn. It is yours for the taking. I don't know if Exio is going to try to join back. It's very late for him. It's up to him whether or not he wants to come and play, but yeah. I'd like to apologise to my viewers for, again, going on a world rant. And for talking about 5th gen, even though... I mean, let me tell you that I don't want to talk about it. I actually don't want to, but whenever the subject is invited into my frame of thought, I cannot help but express my feelings, because I do feel strongly about it. This is my favourite game series. It really is, and it breaks my heart that Monster Hunter, as it is today, is so far removed from something that I want to play. It actually breaks my heart. So I do cry out in this way, even though I would rather not discuss it. I can't help myself, and I do apologise for that inconsistency in what I say and what I claim to be my preference versus what I'm actually talking about in a video. So thank you, Henry FR96. Blue Barn, you are Blue Barn in-game, aren't you? You are not Mier. I admittedly don't remember your name offhand in-game, but maybe it's Blue. Oh, you are Mier. Okay, good to know. I'm glad that we established that. Exio, you haven't confirmed if you're returning or not. I have to know, because needless to say, you're not going to be getting back in here unless I kick Adam, so that's over to you. Beans, you can post, of course. It is your turn now. Oh, you do have a main farm, okay. Go one without you? So you... How long are you going to stay up for, man? Bloody hell. As you do. We're going to do 2 without you then, Exio. Because after Beans does his quest, it's Adam's turn to post, and I don't want to remove him from the room without giving him the opportunity to do his quest, so... yeah. That is the situation. Oh, you're forcing yourself to solo the Devil Joe. Have fun with that. As best you can. I don't think even Beans knows what he's going to post. Scales of Justice, here we go. I'm ready. And Adam's ready because he doesn't have anything to prepare for the quest. He's just, you know, using his standard armor set and weapon, which is fine. Everyone's allowed to do that. What would I like to use? I need to decide. Probably... I don't know what I want to use. Let's go with bow. Elemental bow of some kind. Pierce. Let's do this. It's easy. I don't have to put much thought into it. Alright. We will go with attack large and... I don't know. Escape artist, I suppose. It would be nice if escape artist actually affected stamina depletion for charging a bow, because strictly speaking, Charging a bow and running are categorized in the same way when it comes to the depletion of stamina. How it works is that you have two types of stamina depletion. You have continuous stamina depletion, and I don't even know how you could refer to it, but it's basically, you've got that, and then the other type is what's created by, for instance, a roll. It's that instantaneous cutting of stamina, as opposed to a progressive reduction. And those different types of stamina depletion are covered with two different skills, or they are influenced by two different skills, which is Marathon Runner and Stamina Recovery Increase, or something like that. I think so, or maybe not. I don't know. I had something going on there and then I realised I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, which is fine. That's quite alright. What I said was partially correct. Let's put it that way. But I lost the thread somewhere. It's gone somewhere. And I know not where it has ended up. Well, yes, it is Hyper Devil Joe Exio. You'll be there for a while. Just as well. Just as well. Because as I said, we'll be doing 2 quests without you. I don't know why you insisted on soloing it. I think you've... Oh, stop with this. A is what I'm supposed to... Oh, it must be B that I'm supposed to press. Oh, it's B. No wonder. But yeah, I think you placed too much faith in the damage output of the team in the first 5 minutes. Still gonna take you a long time to kill that monster. I will drink a hot drink. You've definitely got good poison value on those dual blades. At least I've got null berries, but I have a distinct feeling that I'm going to be using a lot of them. That I do. It may also be necessary to use Mega Dash Juice here. If it seems helpful in any way, I will consume it. Well, not just helpful, but necessary, is what I would say to that. Oh, here we go. Oh, we didn't do the follow-up. Just as well. That's a good paralysis. I'll aim for the wing just for maximum piercings. Well, that's good to see. I'm glad that he's limping, Exio. That's great. Our Valstrax won't take very long. I wanted... the sound that you just heard was me sliding my finger off the L2 button on my PlayStation 3 controller. I was trying to do tactical retreat, which would be ZL on a Switch controller, which is obviously equivalent to L2 on a PlayStation 3 controller. Point being that I tried to perform tactical retreat but could not in that moment. As usual, it's not what I'm trying to do that's wrong, it's what the game allows me to do that causes failure in moments such as those. Oh yeah, capturing is the way to go. In your situation, it'd probably add an extra 6 minutes to the fight if you were to try to kill him. Oh goodness. I don't recall the last time I went elemental bow against a Valstrax. That's a little bit unusual. More than a little bit unusual. It's very unusual. I may not have done it, actually. It's equally possible that I've just forgotten. Almost equally possible. Oh, goodness me. What time is it? 9:34 PM. Wow. Very late, huh? Not really. I tried to avoid that. Couldn't do it in time. At least I tried. I can't say that I didn't try, and I can't say that I wasn't aware of the danger that was coming my way. Oh well. It would definitely be the case that in a situation where I can actually use tactical retreat, the monster is flinched anyway, before they can bring their attack to fruition. That would be perfectly in keeping with the typical scenario that I have to deal with when hunting a monster. In other words, you're in the perfect position to avoid being attacked when you don't need to be, ready to avoid the attack, and then when you can't avoid the attack, that's when you will be hit. Because the monster will show no mercy in that moment. Don't give Twitch money is rating me. Well, probably not helpful in my stream. Technically, my viewers have given Twitch money for my benefit. So there you go. That is a dead Valstrax. Good night. And Adam went and stuck his fucking embalming hook in my face as some sort of expression of excitement or pleasure or perhaps even relief that the monster is dead. May as well gather the shiny. Shimmering dragon fluid. What is dragon fluid? Is it urine, semen, or saliva? It has to be one of those three. I don't know what else a dragon would excrete. Okay. Oh, blood is also... Oh, blood is actually probable, yeah. I don't know about shit. Shit is a bit... I'd say shit might be going a bit far. You know, it's possible that in his fright, he let out a little jet of liquid shit. That's... Anything's possible. We don't know much about the biology of these monsters, but I'd say it's the least probable. I suppose we do throw shit at monsters, yeah. Like apes. I throw with the feces, and I attain victory in doing so. Yes. Are you ready to join Exio? Oh, that's right. Adam needs to post, so forget that. Adam, I realize that you are a Chinese-speaking man. Can you understand me when I say P2? If he can't, then he will depart this room. Oh, look at him go! Look at him go! Oh, a round of applause for the gentleman. Sounded more like a gentle fap than a round of applause, but anyway. Yeah, China is #1, Exia. You're right. Alright, Dread King G5. I somewhat regret letting him post, but I don't regret. I think the principle was followed through to the end, and I don't regret that. But I do regret that I'm doing it Dread King G5. What would I like to use for this fight? How about Diablo's Chargeblade? That sounds like a good decision. Or at least close to being a good decision. Thank you, Still a Potato. I am not a streamer, Still Potato. I'm a Let's Player who streams because Let's Playing is dead. I've been doing I've been engaged with video content creation for 12 years now, and I'm not your typical live streamer. So, yeah. Whether or not I will ever see you again in a live stream is something we'll have to see in the future, but while you happen to be here now, I hope you enjoy yourself. And if it pleases you to know, you are my third viewer named Potato. My first Potato viewer is Potato Wielder. I think he started watching me in 2016. My second Potato viewer is literally just called Potato. He started watching me in 2019, I think. And you started watching me today, and who knows how that will continue. But there you go. Dread King G5. Let's see what we get. No, I'm not saying that, Exia. You know, you're not the first person to suggest that. You're not the first person to request that. I had a person literally ask me to do that. But they only asked me to say Ligma. They didn't even ask for the balls or dick or anything like that. They just wanted me to say Ligma with that voice. Or with my voice, rather. So... and I did it, actually. Not even knowing what they were getting at with requesting me to do that. Because I'm out of touch with the juvenile nature of today's internet community. But... he must have got something out of it. I don't know what. Maybe a base level of entertainment, but anyway. Well, you can hit me then, can't you? Yes, you can. Not only can you, you have done it. You've achieved the hitting Doomlink thing. That's a thing of the past now. That's done. Oh. This isn't the first time you've watched Potato. Well, that would actually explain why it didn't mark you as having sent something as a first-time viewer, or did it say that? Maybe it did say that. Let's say if it did. It didn't. Okay, I've obviously forgotten you. I'm sorry. I apologise for not remembering you then. There you go. I'm a horrible person. This Astalos is doing lots of damage. No, it's not that he's very strong, it's that my Thunder Res sucks. That's what it is. I need to stop reading the chat. Oh, I've got plenty of lurkers, don't worry about that. It's just as well that I'm not reliant upon conversation that takes place in the chat, otherwise you people would be watching a silent fucking stream. That much I can say with certainty. Oh wait, I need to be red shielding this. Let's try that again. No, I'm pretty good at talking on that. If I wasn't, then God help me. Good on you, Astalos. I've been performing pretty poorly, I will readily admit that. I'm not going to fight you on that matter. I will concede with an immediacy that will shock you if you were to assert that I was playing poorly. that contention. If you needed further evidence. Again, my thunder defense is not as bad as it could be. I do have sets with worse thunder defense than this. But any level of poor thunder defense versus this monster is bad news. Not to be recommended. Not at all. Again, I feel as if I have been a second time, or for a second time, backhanded after insisting on allowing people to post their quests when I could have otherwise kicked them. Adam hasn't done anything to personally... He hasn't done anything that would in any way be viewed as you know, a transgression or anything like that. He's fine. But he's posted a quest that I don't like, I will say that. Just charge that up. Alright, now I'm playing a little better. Getting myself in gear. I did intend to roll to the side, and I did actually roll to the side, but not fast enough. Sometimes we do things, but not with the... Thank God for that. It probably would have almost killed me, or something. Don't use Energy Blade with no files, you dick! What are you playing at? You think you're doing something, clearly, but it's not helping anyone, and certainly not you. I would consider myself to be a balance between introverted and extroverted. I have extroverted capacity, or I have the capacity to be extroverted. My controller nearly just frisbeed across my room. Like I had the wrist motion ready to go, ready to frisbee my controller into the wall at the other side of my room. But I stopped myself, because I have self-control. But let me tell you that that is a load of complete shit, what just happened there. The first death I can live with, but that second one was absolute balls. That was nothing more than crap. And I will not brook the fact that I've been killed twice. What a joke. Who the fuck would have the patience for that? I don't. Someone here is dropping smoke bombs, and I thank them for that. Whoever is doing that, good on you. It's probably Blue Barn, and if it's you, good on you. I'm attacking the wrong monster. I will admit that if you're not carefully watching who you're attacking, they look the same. They've got the same body type, okay. I don't know, fine. Was it me who attacked the monster? Maybe I attacked... maybe I alerted Rathalos to our presence by attacking him. I hope that that wasn't me. It could have been, but... Anyway. If it was me who funked that up, I'm very sorry. It's just... If you're distracted like me, I can only say that it's very easy to see them as the same monster. Same body type, I'm telling you. My problem was that I didn't even know that he had spawned. I loaded into the area, not having realised that he spawned, and, well, I knew that he'd spawned, but I didn't know where he was, and I thought I was attacking the fucking Astalos. What can I say? Please don't. Ladies and gentlemen, do not turn up to an Astalos hunt with -18 thunder resistance. You will be getting one shot to the point where you will die 3 times. It's been a while since I've died 3 times on camera. It's been about... Well, it has been over a year, but it's happened, and I'm sorry. I apologise to the team. And, that's alright. You know what? Out you go, Adam. Exio, I do hope that you are ready to join. I do hope. That's pretty unusual though. HR999 faints 3 times in quest, and instead of leaving, he kicks the guy who posted the quest. That's new, that's novel. Oh, I'd be perfectly happy with that, Exio. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Alright. I do believe that we're ready to continue with the proceedings of this room. I'm getting a profound sense of deja vu in this moment. And that's not to suggest that any of this has happened before, it is instead to suggest that I'm having a genuine sense of deja vu. As you do in life. And, who should post first? Should we go in descending order and have it be sensible? I think so. Let's start with, Blue Bum. And then we'll go to Beans, and then we'll go to Exio. But yeah, I do apologise for wasting that hunt. I will admit that I was playing poorly, but I didn't have much room for error in the fact that I was being one-shot. So, yeah, I can blame myself to an extent, but for the most part, I was terribly disadvantaged. That too, yeah. No, performing poorly in a team-based game is not in any way advantageous. Let us know what the monster is, Blue Barn, before you post it, because there's no use you getting ready for the hunt and then not telling us what it is, because we could very well get ready for it in the time that you're spending to get ready for it also. That's not in any way an attempt at castigating you for any sort of poor behaviour, it's just a recommendation. Hyperzamtrios, okay. Very well. After that, I think I need to take it easy with some greatsword. Fine. Do I have an alternative that I would use strictly with this armor set? I think I do. I think it's Glavenus that I use for this armor set, yeah. Alright. Usually I use the Rathalos greatsword. But for this armor set I use Glavenus. Now, when was the last time you That was a little repetitive. When was the last time you saw me use the Glavenus greatsword? I would say never. I don't think I've ever used this on camera. And if I have, it was before any of you were watching me. Fun fact. Something a little different. Alright. Very good. Time to redeem myself. Looking good, Blue Bum. You look like some sort of ice queen. I don't know why you have such a problem with Burial, Thexio. Yeah, the last time I triple fainted in a quest was against, I think it was an event, Crimson Fatalis. It was not a good day. I was pretty pissed. As in, pissed off. I was probably drinking too, but... No, I was pretty annoyed. You haven't triple carded in this game yet? Well, good on you. Just as well. It doesn't happen often. I usually don't die, really. But it does happen. I was really looking for an aerial attack though. That's why I didn't charge. I'm not some combo greatsword wonder boy. I know that when I pull out my greatsword, I'm supposed to charge it. That is not lost on me. That was very weird what I just did. Oh, there you go. The equipment loadout is called Snow Queen. Well, that's what it looks like. That's definitely what it looks like. Oh, he is actually paralysis. Paralysis. Wow. English lessons with Doomlink. Paralyzed, thank you. He is actually paralyzed. I thought he was, but I wasn't entirely sure. But then I actually checked more carefully and realized, oh yes, he is paralyzed. Oh, well, the first time Exio has hit me, and it actually being something welcome. Thank you for that. But yeah, even Hyperzamturius really doesn't last very long with a full G-rank team. He is one of the lower tier monsters, admittedly, but all of the Hypers are usually pretty strong. But Zamturius, I feel, is quite vulnerable to a lot of things. They still managed to get me there, holy shit. Which unfortunately has put me in a terrible position for this paralysis, but I'll try to make up for it. I'll try to moonbreak around at this attack. Nope, I'm going to have it totally cancelled because he's doing that. He's going to deflate right in that moment. I'll tell you who's deflated, it's me. I'm deflated following the anticlimactic Moonbreaker. Anticlimactic for the reason that it did not even work. Couldn't get it out. He's inflating again. I managed to be out of range this time. That's the thing. The difference between being in range of the attack that is ultimately launched at you through the inflating process, the difference between being in range and out of range of that is tiny. Please can we not? I am aware of the fact that I have Brimstone / charged. Why did I do that? I can resist his roar. Must be used to some of the... Must be used to... That's what it is. I'm used to... Freedom Unite. I don't have raw resistance on my greatsword set in Freedom Unite. It's awful. Actually, I have to use my greatsword to shield the roars. How bad's that? There is a reason for that, though. It's hard to get a good mix set with hearing resistance, or rather, hearing skills, plus other good skills for greatsword, such as focus and critical draw and other such skills. There you go. As I said, he did not last long. Alright. In what way does Freddie Mercury relate to this quest? I'd like to... Oh, the mentioning of Queen. Okay. As in... Ice Queen, Snow Queen, and then... Oh, your shout out. Oh, another one bites the dust, I see. You know, when I was a kid, I thought Michael Jackson sung that song. Because the way Freddie sung that song, it had a lot of Michael Jackson's sort of attitude. Of course, it was when I was a kid. I was literally like a child when I thought that. But I thought it was a Michael Jackson song, because it was actually a very, and even to this day, I will admit that it sounds rather similar. It's that same sort of grit, that feminine grit to the voice that actually is very Michael Jackson-esque. Anyway, I will take another trip to the bathroom, blame the beer, and indeed in the meantime Beans can post whatever he wants to do, and we will see what's on the board. I will get ready for the quest when I return. I'll be back momentarily. I'm back. A multi-monster quest is on the board, I have been informed. Jurassic Skullduggery. I see. Is there a common elemental weakness here? Not that I can see. No. So, Raw is the way to go. Miel is using a bow that was actually an Awakened bow back in For Ultimate. It was an Awakened Thunder bow. I actually have an armor set in For Ultimate just for that bow. It's an Awakened Thunder, I think, rapid bow. It's very specific. And it's really nice. I could use Blast. I'm happy to use Blast. I don't know what my Blast options are. I'm happy to use Blast on your recommendation. But I don't know what that would end up being. Let's have a look and see, shall we? What are my Blast options? I do have a Blunt, Blast, Sword and Shield, but it is very bad. I mean, look at this. This is fucking shit. It's not very impressive. What else have I got? I'm actually going to go through all of this. Oh, I think I've got a lance. Yeah, I think I've got the Brachydios lance. Yeah, all Brack Annihilator. Let's use that. That sounds like fun. It's a fun lance. I like it. All Brack Annihilator, as opposed to, you know, part of the Brachydios that is annihilating. yeah. Partial Brack Annihilator must be an earlier upgrade. Yes. I might actually buy some... Well, let me go and get another bomb. And just I remembered something from some years ago. I mentioned the word bomb. I mean, I don't even know where I'm gonna... I don't know why I'm going to tell you this, but I am. The guy that I got back, that I got into the Soul series back in 2012, he and I used to just... we used to watch really bad movies together, right? Because we found them funny. By extension, anything that was just generally bad, we gravitated towards too, so we used to search YouTube for really terrible videos. And we just had this epiphany that, oh, let's try to look for really bad unboxing videos. And the first thought that we had was, how about an unboxing video of something that you wouldn't even make an unboxing video for it? Like, what would be a subject that would be totally stupid to make an unboxing video for? And then we realized, food! An unboxing video for food. How about, oh, KFC? And so we found this KFC unboxing video with this British kid. And it was so funny. It was the fucking... we were in tears. It was so funny. And it was him unboxing some KFC dinner. And, oh god. The reason why this relates to the mentioning of bomb is because he described a piece of chicken as looking like a bomb. He said, a bit like a bomb. And then he actually dropped it on the table and it made this slapping sound. And I mean, I remember that very clearly. A bit like a bomb. It was the dumbest video. It would be among the dumbest videos I've ever seen. It was incredible. The only videos that really can possibly reach that level would be the Tony Reviews 7 videos that I used to watch. And the Tony Reviews 7 was... he was so funny. And he didn't intend to be funny. He was just so funny. I don't know if any of you... the last time I talked about him was in some Demon Souls recording that I did some years ago. But, oh, he was fucking funny. He was a funny man. He does ASMR videos now. I think he's called Tony ASMR. And I didn't find out until I was trying to find, you know, re-uploads of the Tony Review 7. But basically the guy used to actually, back when you could do video responses on YouTube, he used to actually record videos to review other people's videos. He would record a review of a video that was in no way requiring a review. Like, the sort of thing where, okay, no one wants to review this. He would actually make reviews of unboxing videos, things of that nature. The sort of thing that, like, who needs a review of an unboxing video? This guy would do that. He was called the Tony Review 7. He was incredibly gay. He was this man who would sit himself in front of a camera and very flamboyantly criticize things that did not need criticism. And it was hilarious. It was the funniest thing. It was absolute gold. I used to watch those videos and just laugh my ass off. It was so funny. It's the sort of comedy that you could not replicate, because it's the sort of humor that can only be appreciated knowing that the person doesn't intend to be funny. Like, they're not trying to be funny, but they are hilarious, which makes it even funnier. And it's golden. It is absolute gold. He was, like, you know, early 2010s era. 2010 to 2012, basically, was his era. And, oh, he was funny. Of course, he was not a person who was trying to be funny, but by God was he funny. I hope someone's got videos of his saved. Some fucking person has to. I mean, it was so fucking funny. Anyway, bit of reminiscing. I talk about these things because apparently I have nothing else that's worth talking about, or something. Welcome back, Wonderlord. We are almost 3 hours in now. I won't continue for much longer than this. I don't know how long this will end up being, but yeah. Oh, the other monster's dead. I guess we need to step it up, Exio. We're not doing well enough. Come on, Zenoga, I can't see you past that bloody curtain of dead leaves or whatever. Well, not leaves, you know what I mean. Dead foliage, we could say. Why do I bother doing a counter in this game? It just doesn't fucking work. Not these days. Not in this particular game. Sorry, Beans. I will admit, Beans, and this might be very strange to hear, but in almost 1,100 hours of playing this game, I don't think I've seen a person use the Atulkar hunting horn. I'm serious. I think you're the first person that I've seen use it. I didn't even know what it looked like. I'm serious. It might sound really weird, but I didn't even know what it looked like. Which is to only further hit home the fact that I don't think I've ever seen someone use it. Which is great. I never thought that a person could use an Atulkar weapon and simultaneously express some level of uniqueness. But that's what I'm seeing right now. I've never seen a person use that. I think it's because using an Atulkar weapon and using a hunting horn are literally on two opposite ends of a spectrum when it comes to a Monster Hunter player. So I think that's the reason why I've never seen it. There goes Zenoga. And apparently Exio hasn't... Well, either Exio is agreeing with Beans that he hates Malvestio, or he also has never seen the Atulkar hunting horn. Which doesn't mean quite as much, because Exio hasn't played as much of this game, but... seriously, I've never seen it. Both. What's my opinion about Charge Blade and its evolution? I had no interest in using the Charge Blade when it first released with Monster Hunter 4/4 Ultimate. I believed that it was totally unnecessary for it to be introduced. I felt like it was just a switch axe that had been changed and didn't really need to be in the series. That was my impression initially. I eventually used it in this game for the first time, and I changed my opinion of it. Through experience, I changed my opinion of it, and found that it was actually better than Switch Axe. But, yeah, just look at that. Turns out that we don't want to be here after all. Yeah, Switch Axe is terrible. It's a terrible weapon, but Charge Blade has a lot of personality, and there's a lot of strategy involved in using it. And I came to realize that when forcing myself to use it in this game. And I had a newfound respect for it. So, yeah, general opinion of it is that it's interesting, it's worthwhile, it deserves to be in the series, and I would like it to remain. Insect Glaive I used in 4 Ultimate because of how effective it was as a weapon type. But Charge Blade I just didn't want to use in 4 Ultimate. I had no desire to bother. I was having so much fun seeing how all of these weapon types had evolved in 4th generation, that I didn't have time for Charge Blade. I was like, no. I'm using weapons like Greatsword where they're more maneuverable than ever, and I'm having so much fun with them. I don't want to use Charge Blade, so I didn't use it. But I did force myself to use it in this game, and I did find that it was good. I'm now comfortable with it. It wasn't even a level of discomfort necessarily, it was more like a feeling of it not needing to exist. I think that's what it was, and in using it I realised that it does have a place, and in fact it's just better than Switch Axe, because Switch Axe sucks. It really does suck. 50% chance to reduce damage by 30%, that's very specific. Oh, that's a good capture. Nice work. That was clean. Why do I not like the Switch Axe? Is this an example of a oh, that was actually a... that was not a capture. That was a sleep. Silly me. I was about to say, hold on, there's no trap. It's not first gen, you can't capture a monster without a trap. Anyway. Which you can do, by the way. You can just throw Tranks at a monster without it being in a trap in first gen, and it just falls asleep and it's captured. Anyway, Switch Axe I feel is just... it feels uninspired. It's one of those weapons that seems like it's complicated and complex and intricate, but it's actually very basic. In my opinion, it doesn't have a use, given that Longsword exists in the game. In other words, I feel like the simplicity of Longsword and the simplicity of Switch Axe, there is a certain similarity between those two things. And I think that the role of Longsword and the role of Switch Axe do overlap. So, that's the situation. I think the mere fact that... I think it would be natural to conflate the two in the way that... you know, that one should not exist alongside the other. I think you should have either Switch Axe or Longsword. They are not unique enough on their own because of how they are used. So, that's the way that I look at it. Anyway, maybe some people don't even understand that position. Because technically Switch Axe and Longsword are not exactly the same, but I feel that the simplicity of them and the way that they're used are similar enough to not warrant the existence of both. Lonely Solly, what is your... okay. Hold on. Your view of Longsword is based on what game? Are you speaking in a general sense? Relating to the series as a whole? And if not, then what game specifically are we talking about? Switch Axe, in my opinion, is just generally gross. It feels worse than Longsword. Longsword is a weapon type that by design deals lots of damage with minimal effort. And I feel that Switch Axe is a weapon that deals damage with minimal effort, but doesn't deal as much damage as Longsword, so it doesn't deserve to exist. Maybe they could do better with Longsword in terms of the balancing to make it so that Switch Axe has more of a place in relation to Longsword, but having said that, I just don't believe that one should exist while the other continues to exist. I think it should be one or the other. See, this especially Rise thing, irrelevant to the discussion, Lonely Solly, because I regret to say that Rise is not a Monster Hunter game. It's pseudo Monster Hunter, so that doesn't relate to anything. I don't want any opinion that is influenced by your experience with Rise. I don't want any of that. So, if you're let's put it this way, if the intensity of the opinion that you express right now was exactly the same before you ever played Rise, then fair enough. But if it's only been, if your frustrations in relation to Longsword have only been exacerbated by playing Rise, and therefore you hate it more than you ever have done, then I'm not really interested, because Rise is so deeply imbalanced in every regard that, of course, Longsword is a joke in that game. Of course it is. It is by its very design an imbalanced weapon type. So, there you go. But Longsword has always been the weapon type that rewards the player most for the least amount of effort put into using it. That's how it's always been. So, I can understand that people don't like Longsword. I've always felt that, let's for instance say, that a Longsword main is a specific type of person. It's a person who is a monster and a casual. They don't want to put much thought or effort into what they do. They just want to succeed. There's a reason why Longsword mains are that way. It is because that is the best way to sum up the weapon type. It is low effort, yet clear positive results. Well, you're generally correct about that. Brownie Cuddles. A weapon that is suboptimal does not automatically deserve to cease existing. My point is that it doesn't seem to have a role of its own. A weapon being suboptimal is fine, but if it doesn't seem to have an existence of its own, in other words, if it doesn't feel unique amongst the other weapon types, what I'm trying to say is that Switch Axe seems to have this almost, it seems to give the illusion of being an intricate weapon, but it's actually very, very simple. It appears to be more intricate than, say, Longsword, but it's really not, because you're really only using sword mode. Now, I think Switch Axe, or at the very least Capcom, has made an attempt to balance Switch Axe in a way to incentivize the use of Axe mode, but I don't think they've really succeeded in that. And if they have, then it doesn't matter anyway, because I don't really play 5th gen. I'd like to make it very clear that for the most part this conversation relates only to generations 3 to 4. Obviously considering that Switch Axe did not exist before 3rd gen. But definitely what, unfortunately what Reoni Cuddles says is a sad case of ignoratio elenchi, in the sense that I have not asserted at any point that Switch Axe should not exist purely on the basis that it is suboptimal. It's because it doesn't achieve anything on its own, apart from that of Longsword, in my opinion. That's the concern that I have. The fact that it's suboptimal only serves to worsen its case. That's my point. Oh, Dibby UK turned up. Hello. Good to see you. Yeah, of course. Sometimes people have a preference that almost can't even be described or explained, which is fine. I would be able to very clearly, and I can actually explain very clearly why I don't like Switch Axe. It doesn't feel as mobile as it should be, yet it's equally as mobile as Longsword. It is very reliant on sword mode, yet it has 2 modes, and it just generally feels terrible for that reason. I also don't really like the animations, and so I feel that as far as all the weapon types are concerned, it is the worst of them all. So therefore it is my least favourite weapon type. That's why I don't like it. Other people will like it because it just happens to feel comfortable for them, and they are perfectly within their rights to enjoy that. They're perfectly within their rights to think that it's a good weapon type, and they're perfectly within their rights to enjoy it. And that's fine. If people want to take it personally when I say that it's a bad weapon type, then so be it. But yeah, at the end of the day, everyone has their preferences, and that's really all there is to it. That's cool, Dibby. I had noted the fact earlier on that you and Exio were in a room together doing the, whatever it was, Brachydio's Charm Farm strategy. Well, yeah, small amount. That really is the... See, this is the funny thing, Cuddles. It's the margin... It's a different margin that we're focused on here. Your margin of, let's say, quality is in improvisation. My margin of quality that ultimately has longsword beat switch axe is in effectiveness. Longsword is more effective, yet feels very similar to switch axe in its mobility and in the way that it's used. Simplistic, same mobility, but longsword does more damage. Therefore, that increased damage on the part of longsword causes it to be the better weapon type. Let me make it very, very clear. I will state this without equivocation. I don't like either weapon type. You know, I'm not a person who's going to sit here and say that longsword is great. It's not. I don't really like longsword mains. I don't like using the longsword all the time. Every now and again I'll use it, but the simplistic nature of it repels me. But, yeah, if people want to enjoy it, then fair enough. And the same is the case with the switch axe, but something about switch axe, I've just slowly but surely... Not even slowly, actually. From the moment it came out in Try, I had an issue with it. I was more open to it back then, actually, but I still had an issue with it. I think the worst thing about switch axe is that when it released, it really released with this implicit statement of, I'm here in place of many other weapon types. Because I'm here, so many other weapon types were not able to make it in, but I'm so good that it doesn't matter. Because of course you didn't have bow, you didn't have hunting horn, you didn't have dual blades, you didn't have gun lance. Oh, but we've got switch axe. Yeah, switch axe. As if they spent so much time on switch axe that they couldn't spend that time bringing the other weapon types into the freaking game. Quite frankly, I think I could have done better without switch axe, but with those other weapon types. But whatever. Exactly, yeah. Whatever you have the most fun with is what you should use, and that's fine. Now, what the discussion underlines, Cuddles, is that we do have preferences that almost can't be explained. We can explain it to an extent, but at the end of the day, we go based on a feeling, and if we feel comfortable with the weapon type, it's just how it is. In my case, I'm not necessarily uncomfortable with switch axe, but it is a weapon type that I can very clearly say is my least favorite of all of them. And I use all weapon types. This is coming from a person who is not partial to a specific weapon type, or at the very least, not to the extent where I can only use this weapon type, otherwise I'm uncomfortable. You know, some people will main a particular weapon type, but be willing to branch out to other weapon types whilst feeling some sort of sensation of discomfort. But in my case, I'm very comfortable with all weapon types. But I'm almost uncomfortable with switch axe. So, yeah. I can use it without difficulty, but I don't really like it. Well, I can use switch axe in short bursts. Let's check my switch axe uses, actually. So, switch axe uses are 159. Interestingly... Oh, actually it is the lowest. Yeah. I'm glad that that's reflective of my preference. So... yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. Gunlance I'm not a huge fan of. If you want my opinion on Cat, it's right in front of you. I don't even need to say anything. That well and truly speaks for itself. I'm going to bring... actually, I'm going to use Gunlance in this fight. No, excuse me, I'm going to use Switch Axe. I don't like Gunlance either, really, but I will use Switch Axe in this upcoming fight. I had, in the past, a separate armor set for it, but I don't anymore. Not because I don't like Switch Axe, but rather because I ran out of space. No, not this one. I want to use my raw Switch Axe, wherever it is. Axe of Gaia. There we go. No, different one. I've got a few. I know what I can do. Wait, no. Blunt longsword. I'm going to find my blunt switch axe, wherever it is. Oh, God. Where did it go? Oh, here it is, of course. It's rarity 1. It's not where I would expect to find it. I'm still not used to looking for rarity 1 weapons. Or white weapons in my list. Doesn't feel right at all. Alright. Silence bottom, sis. Exio, thank you for that. You know what, Exio, this will be my last quest as well. I've been live for a little while and I need to finish soon. Most certainly. I'm just gonna make sure that I can't... I do this every time, I'm sure. Well, I could technically get guard +1, but it wouldn't achieve anything, so I won't do that. No need for that. No need whatsoever. But yeah, this will be my last time, I think. I'll just get escape artist, that's fine. I actually never heard that myself, Dibby, but it's possible. They might have done that in the past, balancing monsters based on greatsword. I don't think they do that anymore. Because the suggestion is that they balance the monsters. I think they stopped balancing the monsters at some point. Well, you see, Wonderlord, Longsword shouldn't be a counter weapon. I think the way they did counters with Chargeblade was quite creative. I think it was effective. And generally well done. Longsword in the newer games, however? No. Not at all. Making Longsword a counter weapon is basically Capcom standing on top of a soapbox with a megaphone saying, "We don't care about balancing. We really don't care anymore. In case you wanted to know, here is our obvious expression of lack of interest in balancing the game. In the form of counter longsword." So, there you go. No, I can believe that, Dibby. I can definitely believe that. It probably did change to longsword for balancing, which was likely reflected in the fact that longsword became the default weapon type. Didn't let me dive. Oh dear. Oh, we might be alright. Or Blue Barn might be alright. Admittedly, the death of Blue Barn would be a bad thing for the team, so it's not totally incorrect to say we, but... Oh, it was almost my turn to be pinned. Immediately after. That would have been pretty funny. Looks like 2 of us are going switch axing. There you go, switch axe team. 2 of us on light bow gun. And another 2 with switch axe. There you go. What joy. If I really wanted to be effective against this monster, I would be using a thunder weapon. Because this guy's very weak to thunder. But apparently that's not important. I don't want to use Zenoga switch axe anyway. I'm sick of Zenoga weapons, honestly. He's gonna do his jump. That's what I hate about Savage Devil Joe, it's the jump. It's not so much the attack itself, it's the tremor created by the attack. I hate that. Because it means that I have to either dive through something that would have otherwise not hit me. But more than anything else, I can't really attack through that maneuver. I can't counter it and attack. I have to be away from him, which ultimately results in me being unable to hit him because I'm out of range. And I hate that shit. It's crap. In other words, annoying attack. To do a jump as part of the combo. Wasn't always the case. Can I get out of the way of that? Yes, I can. Don't know if anyone's got meat, but if you've got it... You know what? Before he leaves the area, I'll try to drop a pitfall. Good positioning. Let's see if he gets caught in it. I think he will. I'm going to trance slash as soon as possible. There you go. And I've got an exhaust file on this switch axe apparently. Oh fuck. Got hit by Mier. In fact, I think we've both got exhaust file on this thing. I do have exhaust file, don't I? I think I do. Yeah, we've both got exhaust file. How about that? No wonder he's exhausted already. I mean, he gets exhausted pretty quickly. He's a Devil Joe, but... There you go. Current damage is off the charts. Blunt weapon with a starting roar of 380. Plus Demon Riot, plus Bludgeoner, and plus Power Charm and Power Talon. Yeah. Crazy damage, as they say. As I say. Oh, that's a nasty combo. Not much I can do about that. At least I don't have to worry about the Dragon Blight. Don't have to waste the time eating a Nullberry for that. I'm about to run out of Demon Riot, unfortunately. And I'm out of it. But I usually find that the or I typically find that the fastest hunts are the hunts where people are running thunder. The Valstrax shards are for upgrading things to do with the... whatever it's called. Wiporium? No, not Wiporium, that's something else. Or is it the Wiporium? I don't know what it is. That sounds like something from 4 Ultimate. Anyway, the point is that it does relate to the offline story. And you need to upgrade certain things with those shards. And I'm sorry I can't remember exactly what they're used for. I just seem to remember that it relates in some way to the... Uh-oh. I can't really get out of the way of that. It relates in some way to the Sauratorium. And... yeah, I think it's Sauratorium as opposed to Wiporium. But... yeah. They are used for something. They're called burned husks. Well, burnt husks, really. If you wanted to pronounce that in a slightly more articulate way. Oh dear. I don't really... all I could do in that situation, Exio, was to try and deal damage to the monster. I didn't have flash bombs, didn't have dung bombs, so... Thank you, Cuddles. I'd forgotten. But yeah, Sauratorium would be the... I mean, I was correct in saying Sauratorium, but... what he said is the answer. Yeah, I absolutely hate the fact that his jump has been incorporated into his combo. It's terrible. And is truly gross. It makes me sick. You're welcome to go into the hunt with Tremor Rares if you want. You'd probably have a better time. I just don't have a Tremor Res set. The last time I had a Tremor Res set was in Tri. Because having Diablos armor pieces was pretty good for, you know, Pierce sets, Greatsword sets. So Tremor Res was easy to get, but... yeah, no. Not in this game. It's still good to have Tremor Res, I guess, but... you're just less likely to get it. It's a very specific armor skill. No, Dibby, I will never use Valor. I'm happy to dabble in styles such as Aerial, Striker, even Alchemy, but Valor, no. I'm going to pretend that that doesn't exist, but having said that, I'm not going to make any promises that I'm going to take time to use Aerial or Adept, etc. Well, excuse me, Alchemy, not Adept. I don't know if Charge Blade was intentionally nerfed in Generations Ultimate. I almost want to say that it was accidental. I feel like it's glitched. It was absolutely nerfed, you're correct about that. But whether or not it was intentional, I can't say. I can't see it being intentional for them to only deal 1 file's worth of damage with an AED. That doesn't sound quite right. But... how could they make that mistake? I mean, that's the thing, like, how could they make that mistake? Could it really be done unintentionally? Could it really exist in both Generations and Generations Ultimate as a mistake? Maybe not. Maybe it was intentional. Maybe I'm underestimating Capcom. Maybe they actually thought that was a good idea. And that they thought that that was a good way to balance it. Doesn't make any sense, but... yeah. Valor Longsword Doomlink stream, that'd be a scary stream. That'd be like an April Fool's Day stream. If I wanted the perfect way to have an April Fool's Day stream, it would be Longsword only, Nesset armor, non-transmogged, with heat and cold cancel, and Valor style. No, you see, Exio, I wouldn't even stoop so low as to record an April Fool's stream with Valor Heavy Burger. I wouldn't even stoop so low. But I would do it with what I just iterated before. Valor is fun if you're morally deprived. Zombie Virus, I'm very sorry to say, but you have tuned in at the closing of this live stream. That was the last quest that I was doing. That was also Exio's last quest, but in regards to myself, I've been live for probably 3.5 hours or something. 3 hours and 26 minutes. So, yeah. I'm sorry that I couldn't have streamed longer for your benefit, but, yeah. That too, Exio. Absolutely. Yeah, it was a good recording. Again, I was going to do 3 Ultimate, but no one was playing it at this time of night. Which I am used to. I didn't go into 3 Ultimate expecting lots of people to be playing, and was met with utter shock to see that there was no one playing. I have tuned in to 3 Ultimate at this time only to see no one playing, so I checked just to make sure, but yeah, there was no one there, so... evening for the Europeans and the Americans is the way to go. Early morning for both, fucking forget it. There's no one playing. So, yeah, evening my time is definitely Generations Ultimate, and that's it. Anyway, I thank you all for joining me. I will see you all when I'm next recording. I will record tomorrow. I don't know if it will be in the morning or the evening. Could possibly be both, God willing. And I do thank you all for joining, and I hope you enjoyed and all of that business. I probably said that twice, but either way, I have a tendency to repeat myself towards the end of these recordings, but I will see you all next time regardless, and I hope you all keep well in the meantime. Bye bye for now.